Wondery Plus subscribers can listen to Crime and Sports early and ad-free right now. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts.
In the depths of an Atlanta forest, a clash between activists and authorities ends in tragedy. I'm Matthew Scher, and on my new podcast, We Came to the Forest, we expose the hidden truths behind a shootout that left one activist dead and countless lives forever changed. Binge all episodes of We Came to the Forest ad-free on Wondery Plus.
Welcome back to Crime and Sports.
Yay!
Yay. Jimmy, as always, your yay is of the highest order. We are so excited. My name is James Pietragallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I'm Jimmy Whisman.
We cannot tell you how excited we are to be here with you this week.
It's such a cool week.
This is
so
best.
Fun.
We're having a good time.
Yeah.
First of all, got to thank everyone for your iTunes reviews this week. That means the world to us, as we've said. If you have not done it yet, get on iTunes. Give us 5 stars. Tell us you're following instructions. Tell us that puppies are fluffy. We do not care. It's the 5 stars we care about, but that would be excessively helpful. So thank you guys for everyone that has done that.
It's everything.
Everything. It's everything. Exciting show this week. We got to get right into it because we got a lot to cover. And for the first time, for the very first time, we said from the start, we're like, no guests.
Right.
We don't do guests.
We don't need them.
A thing that goes on.
We got
normally,
this.
We don't need guests. We don't. But today, we actually have a guest because he's that special. He's funny. He's hilarious. We love him to death. His podcast is called Time Suck, and you should really check that out. It's amazing. Also, you should get his album, Don't Wake the Bear.
Yeah.
Hilarious. Guys, welcome Dan Cummins
Dan
into the Crime and Sports Studios.
Thank you, man. Thank you very much. No, I'm excited to do this, man. I was listening to your guys' podcast before I even started mine. And Jimmy's been like this wonderful cheerleader the whole time. He's like, "No, you gotta do it. You gotta do it." And his passion's contagious. And now,
He does.
Some annoying douche that texts Dan in the middle of the night.
Jimmy
it's
texts
great.
everyone in the middle of the night. That's scary. Pictures of his dick or what? Or are we
it's just
keeping
mostly
it
dick
mild?
pics.
Mostly dick. That's cool.
Some balls.
That's what I get too. A lot of taint shots.
A lot of
It's
taint,
really
The balls are long, though.
disturbing.
Taints are special.
The taint you got, because it's nice because you have to really get the right perspective to
Right.
tell what it is.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah,
thing.
you're like, is that an
Otherwise,
armpit? What is
yeah,
that?
it is okay.
Oh,
it's a
that's a taint.
I see that. Yeah, there's the trail of the asshole. Perfect.
Yep.
Trail to the asshole.
Right there.
All right.
There it goes. Asshole trail. Speaking of asshole trails, we have an asshole today to cover,
We're
boy.
going to follow his trail.
Wow, we are going to follow the trail of this asshole because he's a special one. He's special,
Right.
guys. We're going to talk about Trevor Berbick.
Oh.
Oh.
I have no idea who the fuck that is.
Oh, my God. That's amazing because once I tell you about him, you guys are going to be like, that guy, he's done everything. He's very famous, and he is. Trevor Berbick. He's a boxer.
Okay.
And
Now it rings a bell.
was a good boxer and also a bad boxer at times, too.
Okay.
And a huge asshole all of the time. So this is going to be a lot of fun. It's Trevor Anthony Berbick. And not a junior, but shocker, there will be a junior in this story if you... I mean, is there ever
There's
not?
always a junior.
There's always one somewhere. The craziness started August 1st, 1954 in Norwich, Port Antonio, Jamaica. He's a Jamaican fella here. I don't know much about his early life because I think he's one of these guys that his later life was so crazy that nobody bothered talking about his younger life. I guess nothing as eventful, as insane happened as a young man. So they were like, let's just start when he started getting crazy.
We just know he's really fast and likes jerk chicken.
That's it. We know that. We're positive about that.
Yeah.
We're positive.
Bobsledding bastard.
We are positive that he could turn a shopping cart into a barbecue in 2 seconds and make you up some jerk chicken like you would not believe, man. I'm telling you. But he grows up to be a big guy. The jerk chicken really sustains him at 6'2", 252 pounds. Yes, lean. 252 pounds, big guy.
Wow.
Yeah, he's a big, huge guy. 6'3", or 6'2". Some people say 6'3". It varies, but he's a huge guy.
Yeah.
When you see him later on some of the boxing matches, like when you see him fight Tyson, you're like, wow, he's a lot bigger than Tyson. Like, holy shit. But that didn't matter, as we'll find out. Not at all. He grows up in Jamaica on the island. I don't know why you'd want to leave. That sounds like a nice... Paradise, right? This happens too. Remember James Waite?
Yeah.
Same thing. Grows up in Barbados. I think I'll move to England.
Oh, yeah.
Out of your mind?
Remember that one.
Yeah, like what's
Where
going
did
on?
Berbick move to?
Berbick, this is the other thing, too. Jamaica, of all places. We'll get to where he moves in one second, but he represents Jamaica in 1975 in the Pan American Games in Mexico City. So right away, he's like legit, you know.
Yeah.
And this is after only 11 amateur fights. he's in this deal. So that's not a lot at all. Like, he just jumped right in.
Little training.
Yeah, they were
That's
like, you're
impressive.
big, the island's small, not a lot of people boxing, get on out there.
Yeah.
We need somebody to
See what you
represent
do.
us. You're
Yeah.
as big as it gets. You're the guy.
That's it, man. He looks good. I mean, he's a big guy. He's got decent skills.
Yeah.
He loses to Michael Dokes, who's a future heavyweight champ in the Pan American Games, and he is hilarious looking, this Michael Dokes. Oh, God. Look at picture. He looks like basically somebody roused James Brown in the 70s out of bed in the morning. And he was like, huh, what happened? And his hair's all
Threw
crazy.
boxing gloves on him. That's great.
Yeah, and this is his, like, headshot. Like, he looks terrible. It's the
First
funniest
name
thing.
again? Say it again.
Michael Dokes.
James, we got to put gloves on you. This isn't a woman you're hitting today.
Yeah, come on. Come on, James.
Yeah.
Oh, man. So Trevor wins a silver in the Pan American Games. So that's not bad. He's just started and he's second. I don't know who else was fighting in the Pan American Games, but whatever. 1976, it's enough to get him into the Olympics.
Holy
Damn
shit.
Olympian.
He looks like Shaft. Are you
He
kidding me?
looked well with if Shaft was in a lot of humidity, maybe, and just his hair.
He looks like Shaft is melting.
His
That's
afro
awesome.
fell apart. It's very bad. Very bad.
Yeah.
That's so great.
I saw him. I was like,
Great
oh my
haircut.
God.
Google Michael Dokes and
You
do
really
yourself
should.
a favor. That's awesome.
We'll post it on our social media, too, if you're too lazy to do that. But Trevor's only 21 years old in this fighting. He represents Jamaica. This is in Montreal, the Summer Olympics. It's the first Olympics to be held in Canada, actually.
Wow.
This is the same year that both Michael Spinks and Leon Spinks won gold medals.
Oh, weird.
They're not brothers, but Leon
Right.
Spinks beat Muhammad Ali. Michael Spinks ended up losing to Mike Tyson
In
for the
epic
unification.
fashion.
Epic fashion in the 90s.
Demoralized by Mike
God.
Tyson.
One of the highlights of my childhood, honestly,
Oh, yeah.
watching that. It was
I
so
don't think he ever
great.
left his corner.
No, he just came out.
He's like, I'm just going to lay down.
He kept getting up like, okay, I'll fight more. It's like, why are you fighting? One punch and he's back down again. Stop. Just stay down. Oh, that was bad. Poor Michael Spinks. But before that, he was a great boxer.
Yeah.
He had a problem with him. Also, Sugar Ray Leonard won gold as a light welterweight that year. So this was a big year for like Olympic boxing.
That's probably the only sport anybody watched that fucking Olympics.
Probably. Well, no, we'll get to a couple other
pretty
things.
impressive.
29 countries, mostly African countries, boycotted the games because the committee refused to ban New Zealand after New Zealand's national rugby team did tours of South Africa, denying they defied the UN. UN had like a sports ban on touring South Africa because of apartheid.
Right.
And the New Zealanders were like, fuck it. We don't have any black people here. And they just went over there like, we don't fucking care. And so they just did a tour. And so a lot of countries boycotted because they were letting New Zealand play in the games anyway. This is the first Summer Olympics since the 72 Munich Games, so people might have been expecting even more excitement than they got with the boxing, with terrorists and all. This was the year that Bruce Jenner won the gold for the decathlon. Wow. So, that's how far away this is.
Caitlin's finest athletics.
It's her finest hour, I got to say.
She was never more beautiful, Caitlin.
No. Her hair flowing in the wind as she ran. That was beautiful.
Balls almost out of her shorts.
Just flopping.
Those shorts were so short.
They were short. Well, yeah, he was probably disappointed about that.
If you Google a picture of him running, you can actually make out what he cut off in the fucking shorts.
Like, look at that.
Wow.
It's pretty. Yeah,
He still got a cock, though, I think. She still got a cock.
I thought Caitlin got rid of it. This is ridiculous.
I think there's a cock dangling, but beyond
I don't know how to approach that.
Beyond a transgendered person's cock, let's talk about how this was also the year when a Japanese gymnast, Shun Fujimoto, completed the rings. You'll see this highlight all the time. A guy, going off of the rings and flipping and landing and like looking like his head's going to explode. He had a broken knee, and that it was a close game, so they said, get the hell out there. And he did it, and he did all that shit on a broken knee. And landed on a broken knee, and you could see it on his face. He's like,
the only thing that's going to hurt is the dismount. So.
And it did. It looked like painful as shit.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. So Trevor is beaten by more experience and eventually wins a silver medal. He is beaten by a more experienced fighter because he's just not... He's not as skilled as some of these guys are. There's a guy named Mircea Simone of Romania that beats him, and he ends up winning a silver, and Trevor wins shit. So in 76, with all this success under his belt, getting beat up by a Romanian, he leaves Jamaica to fight professionally. Now, you leave paradise. You leave an island, shopping cart, jerk chicken everywhere. Yep. Where do you go? where do you go? You figure you want to go somewhere with a similar climate, right?
Right.
Yeah, similar culture
Colombia?
also. Yeah, something like
South
that.
America, something?
I got an idea. How about Montreal?
Perfect.
That's perfect.
Okay.
Wow. Warm French. You know how it is there. It's perfect. That's where I would go if I was a large Jamaican man.
He clearly hates beaches. That's what it is.
Like,
He's had enough.
I don't like it. Immediately starts pro fighting at that point. He moved to Canada to train, to fight. He goes to Halifax to fight while living in Montreal. Has his first professional fight at the Festival Arena in New Brunswick, Canada, where everything important happens at the Festival Arena in New Brunswick, Canada. It's a 6-round fight versus Wayne Martin, who is what we like to call on Crime and Sports a non-linker.
Okay.
So if you look on Wikipedia and look up the record, he's just a black name with not clickable.
Non-linker.
Non-linker. So that's all the boxing guys that we can't.
Not clickable. That's
not
hilarious.
clickable. Nobody cares.
That.
And it takes Trevor till the 5th round to beat him, actually. This is a thing with Trevor a lot. He's not a real big knockout guy. He's not come in and...
Which is crazy at his size.
Yeah, he's this big, huge guy, but he's kind of lumbering. It's weird. It's almost like he's too long or something to do it. It's not like a Larry Holmes or a Lennox Lewis where there's a snap to it. He kind of looks lanky. He wins by points a lot.
He's punching down, too, a lot, I imagine.
He's punching down. And he'll talk about weird angles of punches later, too. But yeah, 5th round TKO, so that brings him to 1-0. And that's September 27th. He gets right into it. I mean, now he's like fighting. We always see this in the beginning. They
fighting every 2 weeks or some shit.
They put him out there constantly.
Go get your ass kicked. Now that you've had that ass kicking, 2 weeks later, there's not even a chance to train.
No.
You're having a couple chicken sandwiches, and you're right back to it.
That's it.
It's
Get
bananas.
in there. Yeah, get your jerk chicken and get the fuck back in there, asshole. So November 23rd, 1976, at the Forum in Halifax, Nova Scotia, the Madison Square Garden of Canada, I'm sure. He fights Bobby Halpern, wins by TKO in round 3 there. So, I mean, it takes him to the 3rd round, that sort of thing. Right away, a month and a half later, January 9th, he's fighting in New Glasgow, Nova Scotia. These places he's fighting in, boy, you leave your home to seek the excitement of this Nova Scotia.
Every place sounds more frozen than the last one.
It is.
It's all just
going north and north and north.
So awful.
His 8th fight is literally at the North Pole. It's in Santa Claus's front yard. It's insane. He fights Michael Lucas here, TKO in round 2, so he's 3-0. This is starting to bring him down a little bit in time. He fights 16 days later, he's fighting again at the Metro Center in Halifax, Nova Scotia versus Joe May. 16 days.
That's a very quick turnaround for a boxer.
You would imagine. You've been hitting the head a few times. You might want to relax for a couple of weeks, but
so
not
fast,
this guy. Which, again, this is good. Head injuries are going to become a factor. Whenever we do MMA, boxers, anything like that, head injuries, always a factor.
Yeah.
Huge. And we're going to get a medical reason for this later also. He wins in a 7th round TKO against this tomato can, Joe May. That's what I mean.
But he's taken these short in between fights, and he's taking them extra rounds too. That's not great at all.
Yes.
So much.
Absolutely. Yeah, you can look at a guy's career by rounds a lot. Like, you know, if you look at Mike Tyson, he has 60 fights, but you're like, he's fought the rounds of 21 fights.
He's got
maybe.
73 rounds in those 60 fights.
Right.
It's not a lot.
If you look at Ali, as we'll talk about later, he had fights where the last 8 years of his career, all but 2 of them went the distance.
Right.
And that was 15 rounds of getting his shit pounded out of his brain. And he's like, wonder why I can't talk.
Right.
I wonder why. Jesus Christ. Should have thought about that. So rest of 1977, 3 more fights against all non-linkers, Willie Moore, Eddie Owens, and Eugene Green. They sound like made-up guys. Like like it's a boxing movie. That's who Rocky fought, you know? He fought Spider Rico and then this guy, and then Eugene Green.
Eugene Green.
Eugene Green. Yeah, that's a guy. We'll call him Mean Green. That's perfect. Joe Green. It's fine. Get him out there. All these fights are in Halifax. So he's living the dream. None of them are very impressive. 4th round KO, 5th round TKO, and a 10-round unanimous decision versus old Eugene Green, the Hollywood star that he is. A record 7-0, but not real impressive here. June 28th, he fights a guy named Horst Giesler, which... Jesus, a Canadian non-linker as if one ever existed. Has a 1st-round KO.
Nice.
There we go, Trevor. How bad must have this guy have been? Horst.
Glass Joe from Punch-Out.
They just stuck him out there. A minute 21 into the fight. So this is like Trevor's first. I feel like it was an accident. I really do. I feel like it was an accident. He ran into a shoulder blade or something and fell over. It's like, shit. Oh, no. That's his first impressive win. He goes to 8-0. Now, his personality starts to show at this point because he's difficult to work with.
Okay.
Surprise.
Yeah, surprise. All the promoters are very this guy's crazy, number one.
Yeah.
Number two, he'll say I don't like that purse or I don't like the ring or something like that. I'm just not going to fight. And he's got like 8 boxing matches against
like
nobody.
He doesn't like the decoration?
Yeah. He's just like, no, I'm not doing that. He's very difficult. He'll walk away from fights like, no, I'm not doing that. And he'll just not fight. And
the ropes
like,
are red, white, and blue. I only fight in red ones. That's it.
Stuff like that. Like
I love at this stage of his career to do that. He'd be like, no, I'm not going to do that fight. And then walk off and then like drive home in his Hyundai Elantra.
You know he did too.
Right.
You know he had like a 77 El Camino.
Whatever was the...
And he's like, shit.
Chevy Citation hatchback.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, I will not fight. I refuse. I'm too good for this.
Somebody push my car. It needs to start.
Yeah.
It does the dramatic leave and then comes back. Can someone give me a jump?
I'm still
not going to fight.
Better get some charcoal on the way home. I need some jerk chicken. Let's do this. Unbelievable. But he's very religious, as we know.
Awesome.
This is always a good sign.
Yeah.
You might as well be a junior at this point. He's always like he's heavily religious. He's heavily religious. Like he's Pentecostal.
I was raised a little bit of that. Yeah.
Were you really?
That's
That's
religion.
bananas. Yeah.
That's religion right there.
That's tent revival stuff right there.
There's no casual nature
drums
to that.
and shit.
Yeah,
Fire and brimstone.
That's some serious shit right there. So
we always get shit for ripping on Baptists, but that one is the only one that kind of trumps Baptists.
Oh, God, yeah.
Even
Jesus
Baptists
Christ.
are like Pentecostal.
You guys taking it a little far, aren't you? Come on. What are we doing here?
You guys can take it down a notch. Take it down a notch.
Snakes, really? Is that what we're doing now? I don't know about that. I think you're taking it a little too literally, boys. So he dubs himself, and we love self-given nicknames, of course. That's our favorite thing here. The Fighting Preacher is what he calls
that
himself.
makes sense.
So you know he's going to do some crazy shit later if he's claiming to be a preacher.
God.
He just quotes the Bible to people. Just like, here's a psalm for you. Just walks up to strangers.
Like in
and
between
quotes.
sparring and shit?
Probably in between rounds. Like he's sitting there, they're working on a cut, and he's like, let me tell you something. And he just talks to his trainer. He's like,
This reminds me of Leviticus.
Yeah. Let me tell you about Psalm 18, whatever the fuck. I don't know anything about religion.
Yeah, he's I walk through the valley. You've heard this one? I'm going to keep going.
I got a whole thing here. Hold on. I got to get to the end of it once I start it, so you got to do. He's basically crazy. Still walking away from fights and shit. 1978, 3 more fights, more non-linkers. This guy will not fight anybody decent. Later he will, but not for a while. Fights Tony Moore, Gregory Johnson, more generic. These are so generic. Like bad. They just took names and were like Johnson, Gregory, and just put them together. They have a board of first names and last names.
Like a meme generator or some shit.
And Greg Sorrentino also. So there you go. There's some flavor. 6th round TKO, 4th round KO, and a first round knockout versus Sorrentino. So a minute 27 into round 1. So there you go, Trevor.
Okay.
Work it. He's 11-0. Looking for a decent opponent at this point. Now they're like, okay, let's get him out there. 11-0. You got to get like 10 wins in boxing before anybody takes you seriously. April 3rd, 1979, at the Metro Center in Halifax, he fights Bernard Mercado of Colombia. Now, Berbick had beat him as an amateur rather easily, so he was probably a little cocky going into this fight. Mercado would eventually be 33-5-1, and he beat Ernie Shavers, who was a champ. He lost to Leon Spinks, and he also lost to Randall Tex Cobb, who was the motorcycle guy in Raising Arizona that we've discussed before. So
the guy with the bronze baby shoes hanging from his vest.
Yeah, we looked at that guy because I so wanted him to be a criminal. I'm like, this guy's so entertaining. I want him to be a criminal. He didn't do anything.
We found so many things that he's been in, too.
I want to frame him, I swear to Christ, just because it would be a perfect episode.
And he won a lawsuit because somebody said something shitty about him, and he sued him and won.
It's great.
The guy has had an amazing career.
Amazing life.
Very few people know how he's very well off. He's got to be.
Just look up Wikipedia of Randall Tex Cobb. It's the most interesting shit ever. It'll had blow a crazy your mind. Life. Yeah.
The man was supposed to fight Muhammad Ali. It's crazy.
It is. It's nuts. Speaking of Ali, we'll get to him soon. Let's see. With 15 seconds left in the first round, Mercado lands a clean shot and knocks Trevor out cold in this one. So this is just a lucky shot. One of those Hasim Rahman on Lennox Lewis knockout punches. But he's 11-1 at this point. That's not great. You know, it's your first non-link opponent. Your first linker is what you fought. You've had all Eugene Greens.
And you drop that fucking left hand.
One linker and you're out. That's not great. June 14th, 1979, he's back again. He's in Winnipeg this time. The Garden Center of the world. Oh, yeah. You once you get over into Western Canada, that's
he's in the boxing capital of Manitoba.
That's when it heats up right there.
Is that the only city in Canada that lost their hockey team? That's how little those people give a shit about watching sporting events. I think it is.
It's just it's not a large area, we'll say. It's kind of Winnipeg, and there's really nothing else around it. And Winnipeg isn't exactly a real metropolitan area itself, so it's not great. Now, Trevor's 12-1 coming into this fight. He has a 10-round draw versus another non-linker.
Ouch.
So what are you doing here? Now, you lost a fight against a linker, so they put you back against the non-linkers, and you're losing fight, and you're draws.
You're going the distance for a draw.
A draw against Leroy Caldwell, which sounds like we need a random black guy name. Okay, Leroy Caldwell. Perfect. Yeah, that's, so yeah. And then March 11th, 1980, he beats Johnny War, which is a great fucking name.
Johnny War? Like W-A-R?
R, 2 R's.
Oh, that's still kick-ass.
Mr. War.
Mr. War. That's a great boxing name.
So tough I put two R's on it.
He's a non-linker, though, so his name is the toughest thing about him.
Wow.
80-81 for the rest of that. Pads his record for the next 4 fights as a first-round knockout in a couple of the fights. It has his first fight out of Canada, actually. His first non-Canadian fight on January 31st, 1981 versus Chuck Gardner, which is random white guy. We need a name. There he is. This is in Kingston, Jamaica, so he's going home for this. That had to be a big deal for him.
You'd think so.
Yeah, I'm going home. Let's see, he gets a 4th-round TKO in this one. So the homecoming. Trevor, jerk chicken all around. They're carrying him through the streets, chicken everywhere. He's 18-1-1. Oh, unbelievable, this guy. So Jamaica.
That's a great record, really.
18-1-1's
That's not bad at all.
I'd love to be 18-1-1.
Apart from the fucking names he's beat, still 18 is pretty impressive.
He'll beat some even more impressive names here. Here's a fight against a very famous person coming up. April 11th, 1981, Caesar's Palace in Vegas.
Wow.
That's the
Now
Mecca.
we're talking big time.
It's no Winnipeg, but...
It's not. It's no Halifax, Nova Scotia,
right.
but, you know, it's something. It's something. He fights... It's no Winnipeg. He fights Larry Holmes, as we all... Larry Holmes, former champ, started out as Ali's sparring partner, blah, 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 became a very great boxer, very tall guy with a very good jab.
And a weird-looking head.
Oh,
True.
Yeah. Giant.
Square, man.
Like very angular.
Yeah, looks like a head that takes a good
like
punch.
a Lego head.
Yeah, a Lego head, yeah. You can take a good punch. I feel like the flatness of it makes it very flush for a punch.
It's a bizarre head.
It's a
How
very
do you get a
bizarre
head like that?
Being Muhammad Ali's sparring partner?
Yeah.
He had a great head in his younger years.
Ali
He used
beat
to
it
be
square.
so handsome.
Just beat it square. Like a fender that had a dent in it. He just hammered it out.
Ali called him blockhead. You know he did. And he meant it. He wasn't even fucking around. He meant it.
Come here, blockhead. And he knocked him out. So this fight here is for the WBC and the Ring heavyweight titles. Holmes was in his career was 69-6. Started in 73 and had his last bout in 2002.
Holmes was?
Yeah, Holmes boxed forever.
Holy shit.
Forever. There's no way he can speak anymore.
No
way. No. He drools and he smiles.
Tyson when he was like 40 or something.
That's what I mean. And then he kept fighting for another 15 years after that. Holmes lost to Tyson, lost to Holyfield. He beat Muhammad Ali. Trevor loses a unanimous decision in 15 rounds to Holmes, and it wasn't even close. Larry's not a big knockout guy. He'll just jab the shit out of you for 15 rounds.
And at that point, he's just toying around just to keep from getting knocked out. He's just batting you around and keeping the points up.
He beat Berbick's ass, basically.
Yeah, wow.
He thoroughly, soundly thumped him here. Berbick goes to 18-2-1. Now he has a tune-up fight coming up here, July 21st, 1981. It's a second-round knockout against a guy named Conroy Nelson. This wins him the Canada Heavyweight Championship and the vacant Commonwealth title. The most prestigious titles in sports, I would say. Right under...
Did you say Conway Nelson?
Conroy Nelson.
It still sounds like an amazing guitar player for some country band.
Crooner.
I feel like those titles are right below like the L.A. County Amateur title.
Yeah, that's yes, exactly.
Like,
the title belts themselves actually came from the state fair for filling up a clown's head till it exploded, and then they gave it to him.
You either win a fight or you get the clown's head to explode.
That's it. And they said, "Here you go. You're the pride of Canada," and handed it over to Trevor Berbick. Here's how we signify that. Now, December 11th, 1981. This is the big one, guys. This is the big one at the Queen Elizabeth Sports Center in Nassau, Bahamas. Yeah. We'll find out why it's there in a moment, because they wanted to have it in a bigger venue, but it wasn't allowed to be held in a bigger venue because he's fighting Muhammad Ali in this fight. He actually fought Muhammad Ali. This fight, because every Ali fight had to have a rhyming name, is called The Drama in Bahama.
Okay.
Which, fine. You want to name something?
Decent.
Name something.
Don King came up with that?
I'm sure he did.
Yeah.
Actually, Don King did not promote this. We'll find out who promoted it, because it's very interesting, because he is also a criminal. Let's see.
Right.
Worse than Don King, maybe, if that's possible. Ali was coming off a loss last year to Larry Holmes. Holmes famously, this was the fight where Ali... this is the end of Ali's career against Holmes, second to last fight, and he was not in good shape. And Holmes was brought up by Ali as a sparring partner. This is the one famously where Holmes pulled punches and wouldn't hit him hard.
Really?
Wow.
He was because Ali wouldn't go down. He just you can't knock Ali out, and he just felt bad hitting him because he couldn't defend himself, and he was just taking punches, and he's like, I'm not going to stand here. And so
that's
he
like
would
his brother.
Yeah, he would just kind of hug him a little and just jab a little, and you could tell he didn't want to hit him. It was really kind of weird, but
you said famously, and I didn't even know that. I feel so stupid right now.
Well, if you're a big boxing fan,
I'm going to have to watch that fight just to feel sad for myself.
You
now
should.
Too.
You will. You'll feel bad. Jimmy, you know what? I want you to feel bad about yourself. Everybody, tweet at Jimmy, at Whisman Sucks, and tell him that he's very, very pathetic for not knowing specific facts about a fight from December 11th, 1981. Jimmy, you're a real piece of shit, buddy.
I was 11 months old. I should know that
I'm turning
stuff.
your mic off. I'm turning your mic off for the next 3 minutes. I'm sorry. It's a penalty. You can't. You're out. So Ali was slipping at this point badly, obviously. He lost 2 of his last 3 fights. He comes into the fight, Muhammad Ali, claiming that his recent losses are not a result of slipping and physical decline, but instead because his doctor gave him a thyroid medication that made him physically weak.
That ought to do it.
It wasn't that your brain is turning into pudding. That's
right.
Okay. So truth is, Ali had a visit to the Mayo Clinic after the Holmes fight, and he told them of tingling and trembling in his hands and slurred speech. So that's why several venues, Vegas, Atlantic City, all these venues refused to hold the fight because Ali was turning into a pudding man. And they were like, let's not make it worse.
We'll have no part of that.
We're not going to whip the pudding any more than it already is. Let's keep it stiff. You know what I mean? So they end up in the Bahamas where apparently anything goes.
They don't give a shit.
Nope, come on down here, beat your goddamn brains in. We don't care. In a pre-fight interview, Ali seemed very slow and not his usual witty self. He was just kind of like, I don't know, like real slow. They were like, what the hell's wrong with Muhammad Ali? Like this was the beginning. And this fight makes it worse. Trevor batters him the whole 10 rounds, just pummels him, and he's not his buddy, so he doesn't pull any punches. Ali just doesn't go down. He couldn't put up much of a fight. Ali should have gone down. You want like his trainer to do like a wrestling move from the outside, where he grabs the guy's foot as he comes near the rope,
yanks him,
he falls down, holds it to the mat, like one of those. Like Bobby the Brain Heenan with Ultimate Warrior. So, Trevor ends up winning a unanimous decision, though. It goes all 10 rounds because Ali is a crazy person.
This is the only time I've been uncomfortable on this show outside of like defining and describing what happened to a victim. Because Muhammad Ali is so beloved.
Yes,
and I don't
great.
want to think. I've seen him a mess. I've seen him in person a mess, and I don't even want to think about the beginning of what I saw because that's so just depressing that
this
nobody stood in the way of him being where he was to where I met him.
There was silver-haired, middle-aged white men there to make money. They were like, we don't care if he can't talk. He can make us a few dollars this one last time.
Bastards.
Where can we hold it? If Bahamas didn't do it, they didn't give a shit. They would have held it in South America. They don't care. Wherever, Europe, or whoever will take this fight and make a few dollars off of this guy's...
You don't hear a lot of stories about like concert promoters being like, you know what? I could have made a mill on the thing, but he's having trouble with his wife, and I told him to stay home, work it out.
I said, hey, buddy, go to rehab. Get yourself straightened out.
Get yourself together, and then we'll talk.
You got kids, for God's sake.
Come on, buddy.
Be a dad.
Things are more important than money.
No,
this
never.
is not the silver-haired middle-aged white man ever. Now, Ali in a post-fight interview, this is kind of sad here because Ali always with the bravado and the bluster. This is his quote from the post-fight. Quote, Father Time has finally caught up with me and I'm going to retire. And I don't think I'm going to wake up next week and change my mind. I came out all right for an old man. We all lose sometimes. We all grow old. That's fucking sad to hear.
Wow.
That's like watching a bear be declawed.
Yeah.
He's just sitting there.
He could have stopped with, I don't think I'm going to wake up next week.
Yeah.
Just stop there because he's such a mess.
Yeah.
He's still married to Jada Pinkett, though, right?
I believe he is, yes.
I was thinking Will Smith this entire time.
She's a good woman for sticking by him, I got to say, through all of this.
Just the complete idiot who just,
that's right.
Yeah.
That's crazy. He looked so young and spry in Independence Day. I thought it was really...
Apparently, just pudding brain. Couldn't speak.
Good for him.
Couldn't think.
Welcome to Earth was so perfectly delivered.
What an actor.
I'm going to give the director the credit for pulling that performance from a man who doesn't know where he is and can't speak a word. Who can't speak. I feel like he really put it in there. I mean, think about how many takes you'd have to get a clear line out of that guy. And you're like, holy shit, man. Wow.
Drool cop.
Yeah. Somebody take the glass out of his hand. We keep having to... It's spilling out. The continuity's awful.
Makeup,
on this
wipe
bad
his
boy.
lip.
Continuity's not going to work. So luckily, Ali never fought again after this.
Wow, that was his last fight.
That's his last fight against this.
That's his retirement speech.
Trevor Berbick, and that's his retirement speech. Berbick is 22-2-1 and thinks he's hot shit now.
Yeah.
Also because he just beat Muhammad Ali. I mean, this is even though he beat a shell of obviously Muhammad Ali. The promoter of the drama in the Bahamas, as we'll get to now, the silver-haired middle-aged white man of the group, is James Anthony Cornelius, who sounds like a scumbag.
Yeah,
he sounds like a scumbag record producer, doesn't he? I see like homeless artists with platinum records in this, you know what I mean? And he's just sitting there collecting the money. He's found to be a convicted felon, which you can't be if you're a boxing promoter, apparently, and a current target of an FBI probe into bank fraud.
Oh, my God. Okay.
I like him.
He fled his mansion. This is January 18th, 1982. He had fled his mansion about 2 weeks earlier and moved to the Bahamas.
Wow.
So he just fled to the Bahamas, his whole family, all of his belongings, everything. When reached for comment, Mr. Cornelius, I love this quote. This is the ultimate like boxing promoter scumbag, I'll break your legs quote. He says, quote, "You don't need to talk to me. You've talked to everyone in the state, so you don't need to talk to me. And I don't want you calling me, understand?" I'm like, that's amazing. I don't want you calling me, understand? And he hangs it up.
So gangster.
Oh, that's amazing, man.
Anybody that ends a conversation with understand means fucking business.
Understand? And
you do what they say.
The fact that most people just no comment, he wanted to talk to them to tell them that he's not going to talk to them. Like, listen, asshole, you're going to know this. Now, 1982, things are at the top of their game. Everything's great for Trevor. He needs to get married, obviously, right? That's the way things are going really bad or really well. Get married, obviously. That's crime and sports rule number 8. Yeah, that's it right there. He marries a woman named Nadine. They will eventually have 4 children together over the next 8 years. Lucky her, having kids with this fucking guy. Next 3 fights, June 82 to May 83, all against linked opponents.
Oh, okay.
Actually, this time. Greg Page, who ended up being 58-17-1 at the Caesars. Wow. He fights in the Sands, Atlantic City. Wow. He fights S.T. Gordon at the Showboat in Vegas. So now these are real fights. Now he's a guy, he beat Ali.
He wins those.
He beats Greg Page in a unanimous decision, which isn't exactly the most riveting thing off of an Ali fight, and then loses to Snipes and to Gordon. Unanimous decisions in both. So now he's 22-4-1.
That should wake him up a little bit, right? Coming off the Muhammad Ali fight and acting like you're big shit, and then you win unanimous, and then you lose 2. Like, that kind of lets you know that
he has a habit his whole career of fighting up and down to opponents. If he has, he beats guys he shouldn't beat sometimes, and then he loses to guys he should kick the shit out of it. I don't know. Usually we find this a lot with these kind of mentally wacky, unstable guys. They don't have a consistency to what they're doing. I don't know if it's
that's not a symptom of consistent training and singular focus.
No, exactly. That's it. I think that's the problem here.
He's the Miami Dolphins of boxing. That's what he is.
That's a good point.
He plays up to, like, the Dolphins will beat the fuck out of the Patriots, and then they'll go and lose to the Jets the next week. It's like, what are you doing?
That's exactly what he is. Trevor Berbick. Oh, that's a sad comparison.
He's the Miami
Sorry, Dolphins fans.
Canadian boxing.
Canadian boxing. So you can
the pride of Manitoba.
It's his sister city is Miami Dolphins there.
In the 1980s, a rosé swept the country.
Hey, Mike, I really like this White Zinfandel. Well, good. Now put it down. We're going to try another one.
White Zin became America's top-selling wine. But most don't know that this sweet drink has a sour history. What began in 1986 with counterfeit bottles.
A big fraud, a multi-million-dollar fraud.
Sent investigators chasing one of the most powerful families in the business, the Licciardis. But the closer the feds got to them, the more dangerous things became. It's a story of deceit.
At the time, I was paranoid.
Threats.
You touch my kids, I will kill you.
And murder.
With a .22 caliber bullet to the head.
What started with a scheme to mislabel wine spilled into a blood-soaked battle for succession. Welcome to Bloodvines. You can binge listen to Bloodvines exclusively and ad-free on Wondery Plus. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.
Behind the closed doors of government offices and military compounds, there are hidden stories and buried secrets from the darkest corners of history. From covert experiments pushing the boundaries of science to operations so secretive they were barely whispered about. Each week, on Redacted, Declassified Mysteries, we pull back the curtain on these hidden histories. 100% true and verifiable stories that expose the shadowy underbelly of power. Consider Operation Paperclip, where former Nazi scientists were brought to America after World War II, not as prisoners, but as assets to advance U.S. intelligence during the Cold War. These aren't just old conspiracy theories. They're thoroughly investigated accounts that reveal the uncomfortable truths still shaping our world today. The stories are real. The secrets are shocking. Follow Redacted, Declassified Mysteries on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to Redacted early and ad-free right now on Wondery Plus.
So November 8th, 1982, a son is born for Trevor. He's got a son now.
Oh, boy.
What do you think he names his son, guys? Come on.
Yeah, it's a junior, right?
Yeah. Trevor, Anthony, Berbick, Jr. He's got to have a junior. He has to. He's like, I'm planning on fucking up badly in just a short amount of time. I have got to have a junior on my record. I cannot not do it. September 83 to June 85, he wins his next 6 fights. So that's good. All against questionable opponents. They're all tomato cans. 2 of them went the distance, so he's still not looking that impressive. June 15th, 1985, he wins the USBA heavyweight title, though. He's the heavyweight champ of one of these shitty belt or holding organizations. He beats David Bay, who was an 18-11 career fighter, so not that great. He's 28-4-1 now, Trevor, and a champ. So now things are looking good. Now we have they talk to him at this point, and it's really weird. They're asking him, like, how do you serve? You seem like you're a preacher and you're this and you're that. How do you survive in the jungle of boxing is what they ask him, which is a stupid question. And
if a reporter asked a black guy that today,
that
it would
work.
Be fucking everywhere. How dare they ask that question?
You can't say the word jungle.
Mention jungle. How dare you?
Yeah. Especially he's from Jamaica, there might actually be a jungle there. That's not great.
It would be ridiculous.
If he was from Montreal, you could say, because he's never seen a fucking jungle. But this guy may have actually been in a jungle at some point.
With their box and all their shit and headed down the road.
In response, we have an in their own words.
All right.
Oh, in their own words. Quote, "It's a mystery. You laugh, but it's the truth. The truth is a mystery. One day, very soon, someone is going to write a book about my life, and the mystery will be revealed. I should be dead and gone by now. It will be in the book." Unfortunately, Trevor, someone did write a book, and this is the book. So be careful what you wish for, asshole, because this is your book. Good luck. So,
and that quote's in it.
And that quote is in it. So there you go. August 10th, 1985, he beats Mitch Blood Green. Mitch Blood Green is the guy who famously got his face basically annihilated by Mike Tyson in a street fight outside of a nightclub in the 80s. Remember one side of his face, normal man, other side of his face looked like the Elephant Man.
Didn't Tyson break his hand on that guy's face?
I don't think he broke his hand, but he broke Mitch Blood Green's face. The picture is outstanding. You're like, wow. It looked like he stuck his face out as a truck ran by and hit it. Like, that's what it looks like. But the guy talks shit to Tyson in line at a nightclub, and who's fighting Mike Tyson with no gloves on? Are you out of your fucking mind?
I'm not fighting Mike Tyson with gloves on.
No,
now,
he can have giant pillows on his hand. I'm not fighting him either. This guy
I wouldn't have a pillow fight with him without his fist behind it.
Well, he was calling him out in the street. They were at a nightclub out in the street, and Mitch Blood Green's going, he's a punk and he won't fight me and blah, 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 and I want a rematch and all this shit, and got in Tyson's face. Apparently Tyson was trying to be cool about it and be like, I'm not going to I'm going to ignore this fucking guy because, I have a record as long as my legs, so I'm going to chill out. And then he just said, all right, never mind. I'm knocking him the fuck out. And that was that. So this is nuts. And he also gets beat here, Mitch Blood Green. Poor Mitch gets his ass kicked a lot. He must have some brain damage now because this is a 12-round decision here, a split decision. So he didn't really dominate Mitch Green here. It's at the Riviera in Vegas, 29-4-1 for Trevor. Now, 1985, Trevor gets some excitement.
All right.
A little bit of excitement.
He's divorce?
No. I don't know how he didn't get divorced after this happened, but 1985 in Halifax, he is charged with sexually assaulting a 15-year-old girl.
Oh, my God.
In her home in Halifax.
In her home? What was he doing there?
I don't know. All I can think, because
offering to help babysit or something.
I am going to go out on a limb for something that comes up later that this is a babysitter. I have a feeling it's a babysitter.
Okay.
There's not a lot of details on this because it's 32 years ago in Halifax, so I don't know. The media coverage maybe wasn't that great or whatever, but it's very sparsely covered. Like, this is, you got to get deep to even find this existed. It's really hardcore, but we'll find out the conclusion to that.
But he was arrested.
He's arrested for sexual assault of a 15-year-old, and it's going to go to trial and everything. It's pretty interesting. But that doesn't stop him from fighting again on March 22nd, 1986, at the Riviera. He fights Pinklin Thomas, who's actually a pretty damn good fighter. He's 43-7-1 for his career. This is for the WBC title.
Okay.
This is like the main boxing title here for heavyweight champ. Trevor wins a 12-round unanimous decision, of course. So he's good at pointing people, apparently. Very Olympic style.
And now he's the champ.
31-4-1. He's the champ,
That's
man.
incredible.
He's still married, right?
He's still married.
So she was like, yeah, it's okay.
It's all right, champ. Yeah, that's okay. Well, he was denying it. And they were like, that's all right. She's 15. I'm sure she's a liar. I'm sure she doesn't, when a dick comes out, she wouldn't know, I'm sure. So it's fine. That's all it is.
And now she's telling everybody she was raped by the champ.
Yes, exactly. God. Well, now she can. That's her new thing now.
Jesus.
Yeah. No, the champ raped me.
Yeah,
yes,
the champ.
There's a belt on that guy now.
She gets to say that instead of Berbick. Berbick doesn't sound. It's not as prestigious.
Well, yeah, you can point him out and be like, he's the asshole, the guy with the belt. Yeah, it works better. So what happens here? Mike Tyson. This is we're coming into. This is when Mike Tyson, 86, is becoming the phenom.
Yeah.
This is if you look on Mike Tyson knockouts on YouTube and you can watch 21 of them in like 4 minutes.
I've seen that video.
Because and those are complete fights with intros and everything, and he just comes out and knocks a guy out in one punch. This is that time period. This is when he was really he was the next thing, and he was all set up to take over the crown. But to take the crown, he'd have to knock it off Mr. Berbick's head here.
Okay.
So they are scheduled to fight. Berbick is confident. They're going to fight in November of 86. He's confident. He says people don't know much about him, Berbick's saying. He's like, hey, people don't really know what I do, which I don't know why they don't know what he do. He fought Muhammad Ali. Probably everybody saw that. But anyway, his trainer, Angelo Dundee, famous boxing trainer, he said, quote, this guy Tyson won't know what to do with Berbick because he won't know what he's doing himself. So basically he's like, Berbick doesn't even have a fight. He doesn't know what the fuck he's doing out there. So Tyson will have a problem with that. That sounds overconfident. Berbick switched trainers here to Dundee before the fight after having a financial dispute with Eddie Futch, who was his first. That's a terrible last name too. Futch. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
That sounds like a euphemism for fuck.
Right.
I futched her good, man. Like you can't say it on TV. Berbick looks past Tyson at this. He's not even talking about him. He says he's going to straighten out Michael Spinks down the road.
Wow.
That's what he says. I'm thinking about Spinks because Spinks was the other champ, and he was talking about unifying later on, which Mike Tyson ended up doing after in the quick fight there, 91 seconds or whatever.
You don't overlook Tyson, though.
No.
You don't do that.
He just didn't know that yet, huh?
Yeah, he didn't really get that.
This is pre-YouTube.
This is he didn't have
wasn't able
those
to watch
videos.
a video and be like, oh, shit.
Oh, wow, that's not going to work at all.
Oh, God.
We have an in their own words about Tyson here. Also, let's see what he
said something about Tyson?
Beforehand, about the Tyson fight. He says, in their own words, quote, from what I know about fighting, the small part I know, I noticed that he knocks guys out. He gets the job done. I'm looking to take him out by round 7. I'm going to take him to school. I'm very relaxed about this fight. This is the best thing that's ever happened to me. I love breaking those bubbles that have never been busted. I'm going to give him a good whipping, then knock him out.
Oh, boy.
So, that was probably a dumb thing to say. You want to piss this animal off on top of it.
He definitely didn't do any of that. Not one thing.
No. If you watch this fight,
Jamaica versus Brooklyn didn't work out.
No. Halifax, Brooklyn showdown here. November
jerk chicken versus just sewer rat.
Jerk chicken versus Coney Island hot dog. Let's do this shit. It's on.
The dirty water dog wins every time.
Over a shopping cart barbecue jerk chicken. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh man, that's great. November 22nd, 1986 is the big night. It is at the Hilton in Vegas.
Wow.
You can't get any bigger than this. It was on HBO. This is versus Tyson, obviously. This was
championship fight, right?
Championship fight. This is Tyson's shot. This is everybody's this is this kid that we've all heard about.
Wow.
Everyone's excited about. Tyson's 27-0 coming into the fight with 25 knockouts, most of them very quickly.
Yeah.
And they're like,
But then at the beginning of the fight, everybody's looking at the tail of the tape going, he's 6'3".
That's the thing.
He's 5'9". How's this even going to be a fight?
He had a 6-inch reach advantage on Tyson, too. I mean, like that. It was very Tyson's
it's not even close, you guys. Stop even giving Tyson a chance.
Some people were picking Berbick, actually.
Of course.
I bet. Odds dropped for Tyson the day before. The day before, Tyson was only a 3-1 favorite. Mm-hmm. So that's pretty close, actually, compared to it was like 8-1 a couple weeks before that. This is Tyson's shot to become the youngest heavyweight champ ever, beating Floyd Patterson's record. Tyson is fined $5,000 for wearing black trunks in this one, because Berbick was wearing black trunks, and the champ gets to pick what color, and you have to wear a different color. And Tyson said, "Go fuck yourself."
Ah, that's great.
Here, he made like $1.5 million. He's like, I want $5,000 fine.
You can wear your trunks that I want to wear.
Oh, yeah.
I did my black trunks.
That's a good Tyson, actually. That's not bad at all. I like that. Tyson, when the fight starts, he looks like he's ready to kill.
Well, yeah, because that guy just cost him $5,000 is what Tyson is thinking. Because Tyson's a crazy person.
Well, he is focused. You can tell his eyes don't move. He's locked on Berbick. He's walking back and forth, looking like he wants to kill Berbick. Looking like he's like trying to figure out what's like. He just walked into a club he's never been to before, and he's like, "Where's the bathroom? I can't find it." Like he's looking around. Do I get a drink over there? Do I order it here?
Yeah.
You know, he doesn't know what the fuck to do. Basically, it looks like. Berbick is jumping back from punches. Like he'll come in and punch and then jump away. Like when you're scared of something, like you were swatting at a bee, swat it and then jump back. Like, hey, I hope it doesn't sting me.
Poking a snake with a stick.
Exactly. Tyson's all aggression. He's just forward. God, I love watching him. He was the best
to watch in that era.
Oh my God,
so fun.
So it's the best thing to watch, and
his step punch is incredible because you can see the power go like in video games when you press the power meter and watch it go up. That's what you can see the punch coming when that you can watch the power. Yeah, the muscle
coming from his legs.
The muscle flex delivery is so incredible.
Wow,
it is so tough.
Yes, Frank. Jimmy sounds like he's turned on by Mike's muscle flex delivery.
I am Mike Piazza, he's like, man, enjoying that body.
Yeah, you are. You're like, look at you, Otis.
Look at that booty.
Jimmy's pants are so tight right now.
They are.
Just the crotch. Just the crotch.
Glistening over there. I like it. So, Trevor's throwing wild punches. He's trying to throw flurries. He's trying to, be like, I'll stand here. I'm not afraid of you. But he's, throwing flurries and kind of looking goofy.
Yeah.
You see this a lot in Tyson fights. The guys don't look their normal selves. They look a little off and a little jerky.
His rhythm was so different.
His rhythm's different. He's shorter, and his punches are so... Usually it's like, well, if I see a punch coming, I can take it. But with him, it's like, still might not be able to take it, even if I know it's coming.
His punch was so short.
Yeah, that's the thing.
So
quick,
powerful.
Short, Joe Frazier left hook, which we're going to find out about in 1 second.
Like that 3-inch punch from Bruce Lee.
That
quick punch.
Bang, yeah.
It's just like that.
That's Tyson's hook.
So powerful.
He barely survives the first round, Berbick, and he's getting pummeled. When they go to the corners, in between, Berbick looks like it's round 11. He's like, oh, Jesus, they're working on his eyes. They're rubbing shit on him. Tyson's just sitting there calm, like he's ready to smoke a cigarette and hang out and talk to some girl in the front row and smack Robin Gibbons. Who knows? So round 2. Round 2, Tyson comes out swinging. He is not fucking around at this point. He's like, I'm pissed this thing went past the first round. I'm kicking this guy's ass. He knocks the shit out of Berbick in the second round. He knocks him down. Berbick pops back up like, oh, it's cool. I'm all right. And then they're in close, and Tyson hits him with this left hook that you need a replay to see, basically, because it's so fucking fast. It looks like he just kind of rubbed his glove on Berbick's face, and Berbick, there's like a 1.5 second delay, and then Berbick just hits the ground. It's one of those where it took a second, and then he's just out.
Yeah.
He's like, what was it? He actually had to register what happened for his body to be like, we need to shut down. We need to lay down.
He takes this little hook, and then it's just boom, tree trunk falling down, and then he tries to get up, and it's like, baby deer. Like his face looks like, I'm getting up, but his legs are, he gets up and falls back down.
Yes.
It's one of those where he can't get up, he gets up, and the ref's like, no, pal, this is over with. We don't want to be happy. I'm calling this thing. You're going to get killed.
Save your energy. You're going to need it to deliver the belt to that man.
Absolutely. So they call it. It's a TKO at 2 minutes and 35 seconds in round 2. TKO. So now Tyson's the champ, and Berbick is the guy who got the shit knocked out of him by Tyson. He's the guy who the guy beat, basically. Now that's his claim to fame. He's always known as the bridge between Ali and Tyson.
Wow.
He's the guy who fought Tyson and then lost the belt to Ali. So that's kind of his claim to fame that everybody knows.
Kind of brutal.
Kind of brutal.
I mean, it's nice to actually say the original I beat Ali, but there's always that asterisk that it's his last fight.
It's his last fight.
And the shit he said after that fight indicates that you didn't necessarily win.
He wasn't still the toughest man in Winnipeg.
Yeah, still definitely.
So he's still got some cachet around there.
Can hold his head up high walking around the streets of Winnipeg.
Absolutely.
Hilarious.
We have in their own words from Berbick on the Tyson fight. He basically said, what the fuck happened, dude?
Yeah.
And he says, in their own words, quote, they were funny punches. They came from funny directions. I still can't believe I got caught. I was trying to prove I could stand there and take his best shot. You're a dumb motherfucker, because that's not... Did you watch those other? They show you film. Right. What is wrong with you? Why do you
want to take his best shot?
No, you really don't. The post, Jesus, after the fight, this is when his crazy really starts coming out. From now on, he is crazy all the time. Like, we got past all his fighting, crazy time from now on. He tells people that Berbick does that this is one of the reasons, this is unreal, one of the reasons why he lost the fight was that there was a paralyzing gas that had been pumped into his hotel room for days before the fight. He says this in public.
Damn you, Don King, paralyzing gas.
Yeah, paralyzing gas. Like, he thinks, I know Don King's a prick, but he's not a fucking comic book villain.
Wow.
Yeah, he's not H.H. Holmes pumping fucking gas into his thing. You can listen to a Time Suck episode a couple weeks ago on H.H. Holmes. Very, very entertaining stuff. His trainers say that he read too much. That's their excuse. He read too much. Carl King, who is Don King's son, and also Berbick's manager, who takes a healthy cut of this fight's money, by the way, he says, quote, he read too many newspapers while he was training up here. He read stories that said he wouldn't be able to stand up to Mike's punches, and it became a manhood thing with him. He got in there and tried to prove something that he didn't have to prove. No shit.
Yeah.
You can't take a punch from Mike Tyson, you jackass.
And you can't breathe nerve gas and then go fight a professional boxing match.
Clearly
That's
not.
the truth.
Now, February of '87, a couple months later, the Nevada State Athletic Commission's holding a hearing to see if Don King ripped off Trevor for the Tyson fight. Trevor was supposed to make $2.1 million, but King took $1 million of that. $500,000 to Carl King, Don's son, to manage, and then another $500,000 in advances that he gave to Berbick. Berbick was so pissed off about this. He says, I'm sure Don King said, hey, be pissed off about this and do this, that he flew all the way there to tell them that they were wrong. He flew from Vegas to Miami to say, no, this is wrong, from Miami to Vegas. He said, quote, I got all the money that was coming to me. I paid him back. He gave it to me interest-free. Well, that Don King's a real peach, isn't he? A real nice guy, I'm sure.
It's all a big misunderstanding.
Yeah, it's just a big misunderstanding.
I meant to transfer $5,000 to my account.
It was $500,000. It happens. That's my bad.
I didn't put the period.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
Yep.
I should have put that period.
He'll get me next time.
That.
He'll get me next time. It's no big deal. It's just
that's
put it
a
on the
shitload.
tally.
That's the biggest commission I've ever heard of. It's
That's
usually 15, right?
Yeah, no, he got
50.
He got 25%.
Right.
Yeah. Carl King got 25% for managing. And then,
unbelievable.
And I guess they're saying, too, the commission was saying how you're only allowed to give like $100,000 at the time in advances, and anything above that, the commission would have to approve to make sure that you're not paying a guy off to throw the fight, I assume, would be the only reason why they would give a fuck what anybody does, I think. But rest of 87, he wins 3 fights, all against non-linkers, trying to build his confidence back up. 2 TKOs and a unanimous decision. Gets his record up to 34-5-1, so it sounds good.
Yeah, it sounds good. It does sound good.
Sounds good. He said he beats Ali. You know, you put his profile in a newspaper, he looks okay.
Yeah.
At church, though, boy, he's getting into church now, hardcore. He's preaching. He is preaching at the Moments of Miracles Pentecostal Church in Vegas. A Pentecostal church in Vegas is pretty funny, by the way.
A lot of blue hair there.
Yeah, that's all there is. And ex-Mormons, maybe.
But like bright blue hair, like that Trinity Broadcasting Network
yes,
type.
Yes.
Played up hair. A lot of sequins.
Flammable from a distance, these women, all of them. Yeah. Oh, my God.
Lots of Dave Ramsey listeners, shit like that.
Yeah. I would agree with you there. Definitely.
A lot of people with Hubble figurines in their homes.
Just praying for their money back. That's what they're doing.
I collect thimbles.
Have you seen my spoons?
Have you seen my spoons? They're from all over the world.
I've got buttons from Germany.
Buttons. Whenever anyone goes anywhere, I say, pick me up a spoon, will you? And they do. It's great.
As long as it's got the city's name on it.
It's beautiful. I love it. I actually had an aunt that was like 100 years old that had 1 million spoons from everywhere. I know the exact type.
I had an aunt who was into spoons.
Yeah.
Really? What is it with that?
Now.
Everybody's
got it now. She's got a fucking case on her wall with those tiny fucking spoons, and every handle has, who fucking knows?
When I was a kid, I used to say, can I use one of those spoons? And she'd say, no. And I'm like, why do you have all those fucking spoons then?
It's the female equivalent of the gift shop shot glass for men.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not going to use it. I'll put it up there. I just
shotgun shell.
Just wanted some Cocoa Puffs. I'm like, can I have that? No, you can. All right, fine, whatever. So 1988, Trevor loses a decision to Carl the Truth Williams, who got the shit knocked out of him by Mike Tyson.
We've mentioned him so many times.
Yeah, a lot of these boxers, it's like this big, they just a circle jerk in the late 80s. They all fought each other. There's the same like 6 heavyweights. He wins a third-round KO against a non-linker named O.T. Davis after that. O.T. Davis, which, I don't know, Aussie Davis was probably a better fighter than this fucking guy. He's no idea who this guy was. 35-6-1 at this point, so building it up. February 25th, loses a unanimous decision to Buster Douglas in 1989, a year before Douglas would go on to beat Mike Tyson. So he's really... Berbick is all he's got his finger in everything basically, and every jerk chicken pie he's got his finger stuck in.
Making good money throughout all this. You know?
Oh yeah,
I'm sure
he's making decent. These are all big fights. I mean, decent money. The Tyson fight, we know he walked away with $1 million there. I mean, who knows how much Don King is taking in advances out of this?
Enough to keep Don King around though. If he wasn't making any money, Don King would fucking split. You know that.
True. Don King also, when he was being investigated for all sorts of shit. He was under federal investigation. He said Berbick would show up at his door every day in Vegas. He'd come and knock on his door with his Bible and his cross in his hand and start quoting Bible verses to Don King.
I picture him like interspersing Bible verses with like, "Where's my fucking money?"
Yeah,
and then like Corinthians, $500,000. 14:3. And the Lord said, "Where's my fucking money?" You know, just constantly.
Lord said, "You owe me $500,000, motherfucker." I mean, love your brother. Awful, man. So May 5th, 1989, the Halifax sexual assault comes to a head here.
Oh, yeah. I wondered what was going on.
They're in court. They have a trial. Trevor is found not guilty of sexually assaulting the now 19-year-old girl in 1985. The judge in the case said there was way too many inconsistencies in the 19-year-old's testimony and that he didn't think she was a credible witness.
What an asshole.
Yeah, the judge.
I mean, I get it. Inconsistencies, that kind of fucks things up. But she was 15. What do you expect? Do you expect her to know every fucking detail and be able to spit that out at will when the champion of boxing raped you?
Devil's advocate. She could have been a gold digger. She could have been. She's this guy going up for real. You know.
Was her last name King? Do we have that?
You know what it's like for a girl growing up in Halifax. You know what I mean? You see the glitz and the glamour, and you just you know how it is.
Trailer Park Boys?
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's supposed to be set in Halifax.
That would make a lot of sense. Yeah, that could.
You know, it was her ticket.
This girl was from the neighborhood, maybe.
Oh, we're
this is her ticket to Winnipeg. Her ticket to the big time.
Yeah,
ticket out to Manitoba, baby.
Oh my god,
unreal, man. So
this poor girl.
This poor girl,
if he did it.
I'm going to go out on a limb because of future events. I'm going to say he's fucking guilty.
Well, now I feel bad.
Because this is a pattern. This is a pattern. No, she still wanted to go to Winnipeg. Don't feel bad for that, Dan. She wanted
There's
to go to
probably
Winnipeg.
some ulterior motives, but she definitely earned her keep.
She probably was raped. Jesus.
Yes. After this, I feel actually bad. Imagine that, too. You went through this for 4 years, and now you're told to go fuck yourself.
It hurts.
How it hurts. Trevor says he's relieved about the case, but he's mad because it robbed him of his concentration and cost him millions of dollars for fights.
Yeah.
Has he been not fighting because of this? No, he's been fighting. We've been going over all these fights. He's full of shit.
There's plenty of fights, sir.
Yeah, 1990, Trevor and Nadine separate his wife here, and they're not going to get back together, and they're going to have some rocky times. 1990, in July and December, he beats 2 non-linkers, so who gives a shit? 37-7-1 is his record. 1990, still, he moves down to Florida, and this is when shit gets interesting, boy. This is when he's really...
Florida, something in the water down there.
Florida and Arizona. I don't understand it. Half of our crimes take place in Florida and Arizona. I know it's because a lot of retired athletes move there. And that's why they're there. But I mean, they're attracted to it for some reason. I don't know.
I like to call Arizona West Florida.
It's
very similar.
Florida West.
We just haven't fucked up an election yet. Give us time. Give us time.
We will. Yeah. we just vote the same way every time over here anyway. So.
Give us time.
He finds another woman to marry, though, because got to get right back on the horse.
Wow.
Things are starting to go a little slippery for you. You got to be married. You find a new woman to marry. Has 3 more children with this woman.
He has 7 kids.
7 kids.
Oh, my God.
7. He is awfully...
oh, my God.
Yeah, he's
that
into
sounds
it.
horrible.
Yeah, that does sound horrible. 7 kids, an ex-wife, a new wife. You live in Florida. It's very sticky. There's bugs everywhere. You're dreaming of Winnipeg. It's a bad time for us.
I just picture him sitting in a basement watching the Ali fight on like VHS
over
just
and
to feel
over
good.
and over again.
Just to, have a cocktail and be like, that was great.
He's got a tape of the Tyson fight, but it's never been touched. There's cobwebs on it. Like, I don't want to see that. That was painful.
Boy, that was a great fight.
Yeah. Here's when it
Showing
unravels.
each child as they're coming up, too.
Look at that, dude.
Yeah.
This one's too old. It recognizes that I'm a piece of shit. Let's fucking have another one because I got to show, I got to be an influence on somebody.
He unravels so badly right now that it's like it has to be Florida. Like everywhere else he was semi-fine except for Halifax with a 15-year-old girl. But here, this gets bad. Now, March of 1990, Trevor tracks down a man that he believes is having an affair with his now ex-wife, and he called it having an affair.
That's
it's your
not
ex-wife.
an affair.
That's just a guy she's seeing because you guys got a divorce because you fucked 15-year-olds.
Right. And you've got a new wife. Why are you worried about what she's doing? That's not fair anymore.
Trevor tracks this guy down, beats him pretty unmercifully because, I mean, even he's better than a this guy's worse than a non-link fighter. You know what I mean? This is some regular guy. He's not going to stand up to.
This is somebody he can knock out.
Oh, yeah. He can actually get a first-round KO on this guy. It's not going to go the distance. He beats him and holds a knife to his throat, trying to get him to admit to having an affair with his wife. This does not go over well with the police, who charge him with aggravated assault, obviously, because he's a psychopath. Yep. So there you go. November 7th, 1990, Trevor is arrested in Florida again.
Wow.
This time, holy shit, this is insane. He drags a friend of his ex-wife out of her job at gunpoint.
What?
She works at a bank in Pembroke Pines. Wow. He goes into her job at the bank and drags her out at gunpoint. That's
He's
insane.
really accelerated his crimes.
This is nuts, man.
You go from sexual assault of a minor to beating the shit out of a man, holding a knife to him, and then dragging someone out a bank with a weapon. You don't do that shit.
Number one.
That's federal charges already.
And now you're dragging a woman out, holding her at gunpoint, and demanding that she tell you where your ex-wife has moved because she won't give you her new address. So because she's obviously afraid of you because you're a nutcase who holds knives to people's throats and does shit like this.
It's your ex-wife. Why do you care?
Unbelievable.
I don't understand.
He's clearly got some control issues, I feel like, this guy here. So he does all this. He's charged with false imprisonment, aggravated assault, and possession of a firearm and commission of a felony for this one. So that's not a good list of charges. Mm-mm. You don't want to really be on that list, I don't think. 1991... What the fuck is he thinking here? I don't know why. This must have been a payday. I don't know what he's thinking, but he goes to Japan for what he thinks is a wrestling match. Okay. He thinks he's going to work a fake wrestling match. Okay. Remember like Ali and Inoki in the 70s? They did a big thing. Muhammad Ali fought Antonio Inoki, who's the godfather of Japanese wrestling there. And they fought in like it was a boxer versus wrestler match. And it was one of the first big closed circuit things. Like they did satellites to it, and they were kind of working on that. And basically... Inoki lied on his back the entire time, kicking at Ali's legs, and it was the most boring thing ever. And Ali ended up getting blood clots in his legs because of it. He got kicked repeatedly in the legs. Yeah, he ended up with blood clots in his legs. It was a nightmare, and it was the most boring thing ever too. It was like not a good fight.
Yeah.
But now the 91, he thinks he's going over for like he's going to be a wrestler basically. Like they're going to do a boxer versus wrestling thing, and it's going to be a work thing. And he thought that he had the whole plan.
Yeah.
And he knew it was going on. He's fighting a guy named Nobu. I'm sorry if I butcher this. If people know who he is, I don't give a shit because he's not really that important in our story. But Nobuhiko Takada. Takada starts kicking his legs right away. Starts going after Trevor's legs.
It's Takada.
Takada.
I wanted to say Takada.
Damn it. Shit. So... Trevor he just starts getting kicked in the legs. Trevor just like raises his arms up and goes to the ref like, what the fuck is going on? Basically, he's like, that's not what he's supposed to do. He's motioning that like above the waist. Shit's supposed to be above the waist. What the fuck? Basically, this guy just keeps kicking his legs. Trevor's not fighting back. He's just stopping and like turning to his corner and looking like, what the fuck? Like,
what are the rules? Like he doesn't know the rules of the fight.
Like, he's not doing what we planned. Basically, like we were supposed to come in and he was going to put me in a headlock and we do this and he's kicking my fucking legs and it hurts. Like, what's going on here?
Right.
So Trevor's not fighting back. He's just complaining. He doesn't know what he's doing. He keeps up the leg kicks. This guy. He's attacking him. Trevor's complaining as he turns to complain. This guy kicks him in the head.
Oh my God!
Yeah, so Trevor's he's like, and he's still not fighting back though. He's still looking around, going, "Why is this happening?" The guy starts kicking his legs again, and finally Trevor's like, "Fuck this," and just walks out of the ring and leaves. That's it. Fight's over.
We both got wrong scripts.
That's
like,
it.
What happened?
Apparently, we're not on the same page here. I don't know what it is.
Kicked for a while and then leaves.
I got wrong sides, I guess. I don't know what's going on here. So
it's like Joe Pesci reading the script to My Cousin Vinny while Robert De Niro's filming Casino. And he's like, what are you doing?
That's talking to Macaulay Culkin in Home Alone. He's like, hey, you cocksucker. He's like... So this,
you Jew bastard! What are you talking about? That's not in Home Alone.
That's not nice.
It's a Christmas movie.
My name's Kevin McAllister. I'm not clearly a little blonde child.
Everyone out there should listen to Small Town Murder. You really should, mainly because you never know who's next door. And that's the point of this show, really. You never know who is next door. You never know what's going to happen on Small Town Murder. That's what makes it so wonderful. The only thing you do know is that people are going to die, and we're probably going to make jokes about it. That's it. That's all we can promise you. We dig into these towns, we see what makes them tick, from local legends to scandals they may have had, and of course, the biggest scandals of all, horrible murders that take place there. And we put our, what I feel is a completely appropriate comedic spin on the whole thing. And you know you need a laugh right now. So get in there, listen to Small Town Murder. Follow Small Town Murder on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to Small Town Murder early and ad-free right now on Wondery Plus.
In the 1980s, a rosé swept the country.
Hey, Mike, I really like this White Zinfandel. Well, good. Now put it down. I'm going to try another one.
White Zin became America's top-selling wine. But most don't know that this sweet drink has a sour history. What began in 1986 with counterfeit bottles,
A big fraud, a multi-million-dollar fraud,
sent investigators chasing one of the most powerful families in the business, the Licciardis. But the closer the feds got to them, the more dangerous things became. It's a story of deceit.
At the time, I was paranoid.
Threats.
You touch my kids, I will kill you.
And murder.
with a .22 caliber bullet to the head.
What started with a scheme to mislabel wine spilled into a blood-soaked battle for succession. Welcome to Bloodvines. You can binge listen to Bloodvines exclusively and ad-free on Wondery Plus. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.
April 8th, 1991, after this disastrous Japan trip, he comes back home. This is in Hollywood, Florida. This is one of the most fun things I've heard about on this show. Okay, Larry Holmes has a fight in Hollywood, Florida. It's his first fight, Holmes' first fight, since losing to Tyson a few years ago. It's his big comeback. By the way, Holmes has a son who's a junior also. Just thought I'd share that with everybody. So we know we're dealing with two guys who name their sons Junior here.
Is Holmes on the up and up, though? Is he okay?
Holmes is he's a little mushy, but he's okay. He's better off than Ali. I'll tell you that much.
His head's still a tight block.
Yeah. It is. He didn't get hit as much as Ali. He's a tall guy with a long jab, so he'd just keep you away.
Yeah.
He wasn't a guy who took a lot of big shots.
But I mean, no criminal record, right?
I don't think so. Nothing to speak of. Nothing that's crime and sports worthy. Something like that. Maybe if we did like a quickie episode or something.
Forgot to pay for a Snickers in a gas station.
Not
or something.
A deep dive here. Right. But Holmes knocks out Tim Doc Anderson in the first round that night. Why does that matter to our story, you wonder? Well,
I do.
You do. Well, let's get into it. Berbick, like we said, is living in Florida. He attended the fight and also attended the post-fight press conference at the Diplomat Hotel. Now, Larry is asked at the press conference if he's going to fight Trevor again because he's fucking there. So they thought this would be interesting to ask. Holmes says no. He says, quote, "I don't like his attitude. I beat him 15 of 15 rounds. Maybe he won one round." Fuck that guy, basically.
Yeah.
Berbick's pissed. He's in a suit and tie, though. He's in a in a press conference. He leaves quietly. You know, he's not going to cause a scene in there, right? He goes into the lobby, and then he causes a scene in there, obviously, like a gentleman. You know what I mean? Like a gentleman. Holmes... Jesus Christ. Apparently, Holmes also owns a home in Florida. He lives in Pennsylvania, but he also owns a home in Florida. Trevor says that Larry Holmes set him up in some way to destroy his marriage. He's blaming Larry Holmes for everything now.
Oh, no.
Larry hears about this. He's upstairs talking to reporters. He hears what's going on. He just bum rushes through the reporters onto the elevator to go down and confront Trevor Berbick. So now we got these two giant monsters who are going to fight in a hotel lobby, which is fucking insane.
One who's clearly obsessed with his ex-wife and blaming it on the man that just fought.
And the other guy who's been in training and just fought a fight that night and knocked somebody out.
And has beat you 15 out of 15 rounds.
He's fucking prime, too. He's literally as good as he's going to get. He could go another 10 rounds, Larry Holmes, you know? So this is what Trevor Berbick is screaming. We have an in their own words of his insane rantings here. In their own words, quote, "He used his sweetheart to mess up my married life. Jenny from Jacksonville. I got proof and tapes. All the problems I have are through him. My kids are suffering too." What? Blaming everything on him. He's claiming that Holmes set him up some way with some girl to destroy his marriage. So he fucked some girl and his wife found out about it. And
then it's Holmes' fault.
It's Holmes' fault. It's Holmes' friend who set him up, and he said, I know I beat this guy 10 years ago, but I'm going to fuck with him more. I want you to go over there, suck his dick good, and then tell his wife about it. Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
This is the best public meltdown ever, too, and this is before TMZ, so nobody got to see this, and that's a goddamn shame.
It gets better, and there is video footage.
Is there?
God. Someone record, because there's a million press people there. It's a press conference that's happened.
It's still out? Is it on YouTube?
Yeah.
I can't wait to see this.
It's on YouTube. It's on, you got to search.
I love the Holmes have nothing better to do. The guy's just some random dude he beats, one of many.
Yeah.
But he's going to focus how do I ruin that guy's life further?
Yeah.
How do I further humiliate him?
Maybe he was the one who put the paralyzing gas in his hotel room.
Yeah.
I can see
my
that.
God, Larry Holmes, you son of a bitch.
This blockhead crawling through the AC vents.
I know it. I could see it.
Like a Scooby-Doo episode.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to get him. His blockhead wouldn't fit in those vents.
My head fits perfectly through that. You've seen a square peg in a square hole. That's what he's doing.
Trevor rips his wife's head off, and it's Larry Holmes' head. This whole time.
This whole damn time.
God damn it.
Damn you crazy kids.
How'd you have 4 kids? Fuck. So, Larry finds Trevor in front of the hotel. The craziness hasn't even happened yet. That was just the prelude here. A valet, Victor Stevenson of the hotel, we have a quote here from him that describes the action at this point. He says, quote, Larry Holmes came rushing out. He kicked and punched Berbick, and Berbick ran onto the street. Larry Holmes kept kicking and punching him. So Larry Holmes is just attacking him into the street.
Kicking and punching him into the street.
I just picture him just flailing wildly. If you get a boxer to kick at you, you've really pissed him off.
Yeah.
That's not even his weapon of choice, and he's coming at you with it.
All training out the window.
The Japanese fight. He knows he can't handle a kick.
Yeah, he's like, I'll kick his legs. I'll kick his legs. Kick his legs. Oh, my God. So police separate the two lunatics. Yeah. How'd you like to have that task? Here's two former heavyweight champions that are fighting each other in the street. Why don't you get in between them? Yeah, thanks, asshole.
The new guy. Yeah. Johnny, go bring
do that. Yeah. This is worth $21,000 a year.
Proof that cops don't kill all black people.
Yeah, go out there. Don't kill either one of them. So things calm down for a moment after the police are, they calm down. They separate. Everybody goes their separate ways. Berbick's in the street. Holmes is on the sidewalk. And then out of nowhere, Holmes jumps up on a parked car and runs across 2 other parked cars and leaps onto Trevor Berbick off of the top of a car like a Superfly Snuka Splash.
Fucking Spider-Man.
Like a fucking lunatic.
Awesome. That is awesome.
That's amazing. Picture Larry Holmes, the giant man.
Oh, my God.
Him flying off a car is the greatest thing I've ever heard in my life. Flies off a car, tackles Berbick into the street, and begins just whooping his fucking ass on the ground like a 6th grade schoolyard fight.
Thief. That's awesome.
That's like some grindhouse action movie.
It's amazing.
Robert Rodriguez character. That's insane.
We'll get this ex-boxer in here, have him jump on people from cars. That shit's going to be great.
Incredible.
He'll have a sword for an arm. We're going to have him run with 2 cars, fly through the air.
Sword for an arm. Nuts. Unbelievable, man.
How is that not everywhere? Everyone needs to see that video. That's incredible.
It's great. You have to do a deep search for it, but it's out there, man.
God, I want to see that so bad.
So he's pummeling him. The police again break them up. They get in there, and now you're pulling these guys off. They pull them off. Trevor shouts, "Larry Holmes punched me." Everybody saw him kick and punch me. He's like setting up legal precedent over here.
Yeah.
Somehow no arrests are made out of this. I don't know how. I guess they just Holmes is fired up from his fight. We'll give him a pass on diving off of cars on the people, but.
And then Larry Holmes picked up a rickshaw and hit him with it, right? Is that
that's
what happened
he
next?
did. Yeah, that's exactly what happened next. Unreal, man. So that I love that story.
That's
one
a
of my,
great fight.
That's one of my favorite. And they fought 10 years before that.
That fight's way more exciting than the one they had in the ring.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Oh, yeah.
It
so
absolutely
good.
is. That's what they should have had in the ring.
I'd pay to watch that.
Yeah, I'd pay to watch that
in a
fight.
second. I'll watch it on pay-per-view. I won't even have to be there.
And now Holmes has beat him for 16 rounds.
Yeah, that's the other
full
thing.
16 round victory.
I beat him 16 out of 16 rounds. Fuck. So June 19th, 1991. This is when things get really, really, really bad for Trevor, and this is why I think he actually was guilty of the thing in Halifax there. Trevor is arrested at his home in Miramar, California, and we're going to talk about that home and how he bought it in about a few minutes here.
Oh, boy.
In Miramar, Florida, on charges of sexual battery and burglary with an assault.
Fuck.
Not great. Police say that on October 30th, 1990, Trevor went over to his 26-year-old family babysitter's house. This woman had worked for the family her name. They didn't want to put her name out there a lot. It's out there, but I'm not going to say it because I don't think she wanted it out there. So we don't need it. She's 26 years old. She worked for the family for about 2.5 weeks, and Trevor was going over to her house to pay $480 that the family owed her for babysitting. That's a lot of fucking babysitting.
Yeah.
In 91, that's
at $10 an hour. That's about what you paid him then, right? If you're the champ, I guess probably 20, right?
Yeah.
You got to give some incentive.
A little bit, yeah. Wow. Well, he should have paid her.
Still,
a little more than that.
that's a lot of hours.
Yeah.
Well, he should have paid her more than that for what he did here because he's a fucking asshole. He goes over there. he basically said that he raped her over there. That's the deal.
He said that?
No, that's what she says.
Okay.
Police have done an investigation up to this point, and
I'm just saying, if a guy actually says, I raped her over there, it was way worse than that.
It must have been horrible.
Yeah.
She's probably dead at that point. Police say that at this point they've tested and they have his DNA in both saliva and semen from the scene. So that's all. That's a pretty good sign right there. That's not exactly a he said, she said. Berbick denies any wrongdoing, of course. He's a victim here, as always. Paralyzing gas. Larry Holmes raped her. I don't know, something. It was Larry Holmes.
Larry Holmes grabbed his dick and used it for the raping.
Exactly.
And the girl in Jacksonville set it all up.
Damn you, Larry Holmes.
Yeah, actually, when he was done raping her, he pulled a mask off her head, and it was Larry Holmes. It's like, fucking Larry again. Damn you. So we have an in their own words.
17 rounds
17 now. Chalkboard. So, unbelievable.
He's just notching his championship belt. That's all he's doing.
Hole. So we have an in their own words on the rape charge. I love when they respond to rape charges.
It's crazy.
In their own words, quote, "Hey, I'm not an abusive person. I didn't hurt that girl. She knows this. My wife got upset and didn't know what she wanted to do, so she told a lie." His whole thing, Larry Holmes ruined his marriage. This is all his wife's fault, he's saying. This has nothing to do with him. His wife went off and made some shit up, even though there's DNA evidence of this whole thing.
Right.
But this doesn't stop him. He's arrested in June on these pretty heavy charges after being arrested on other heavy charges of dragging a woman out of a fucking bank at gunpoint.
Wow.
Yet still, August 2nd, 1991, he's got another fight.
What the fuck?
You'd think he'd be busy.
How do they not lock him up and hold him for a bit?
I have no idea. He's got money at this point, probably. He's a champ. He can bond out. You know, if you have a decent lawyer and money for bail, you can get out of shit pretty much.
Got a lot of legal troubles to pay for right now.
A lot. They're mounting. They're mounting. This fight is in France, actually. I don't know if that's the only place. That's where there was no heat over there.
Okay.
Maybe they don't know shit.
I can't believe they didn't at least take his passport from him.
France, rape is fine in France. People look up to that. That'll sell more tickets over there.
Isn't that where, what's his nuts, the director?
Roman Polanski?
Polanski?
Yeah.
No, did he end up in France for a while?
I think so.
Oh, shit, I don't even know.
When you said that, I was like, well, maybe they do have a little
I think
relaxed policy.
In Europe, sex with young girls is considered okay back then. I don't know about forcing yourself on a 26-year-old girl, but I think it was still frowned upon less in France, probably. So let's go over there. He fights
the French.
The French. He fights a guy named Garing Lane. He wins it. It's an 8-round fight, so it's not even like a major fight here. He wins a decision. He can't knock out Garing Lane here. He wins a decision, unanimous decision anyway. So 38-7-1. This is going to be his last fight for a while.
Okay.
For a little while, because we have before the trial, though, we have another thing here. In 1991, at the end, after this fight, he's arrested for assault again after he attacks his business manager, a woman named Novelette Hance, and holds a gun to her head in her office. Holds a gun to her head, demanding that she return $40,000 that she stole from him allegedly.
Wow.
That never came out that she actually stole anything, just that he's a crazy motherfucker.
Well, Larry Holmes put her up to that.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Clearly.
Yeah, Larry. She's working for
ex-wife.
Holmes. Yeah. Well. Larry Holmes, in his mind, it could be Larry Holmes, actually, in some of his things here now. Because December 29th, 1991, Trevor is convicted of misdemeanor assault for the attack on the wife's friend that he dragged out of a bank.
Misdemeanor
assault? What the fuck is a felony at this point?
Seriously.
And this isn't a plea. This is a fucking jury.
By gun from a
weapon.
bank.
Yeah.
A jury acquitted him on charges of armed kidnapping and aggravated assault and only convicted him on misdemeanor assault. He has a gun and he dragged her from a place she wanted to be into a place she didn't want to be. That's armed kidnapping.
Did they not have security cameras at that bank? Is that the only bank that didn't have a camera?
10 people saw it. Everyone saw it. She saw it. He said he did it. It's on film. And they were like, yeah, you know what? Let's give him a break.
Right.
What the fuck? Oh, by the way, he's got rape charges pending. That's okay, though. Let's give him a fucking break.
Wow.
So he's sentenced to 6 months probation for this. This is what he gets for dragging a woman from a bank.
I dare you
with
to
a
do
gun
that,
against
James.
her head.
I dare you to do that. And
You
see
think
if
I'll
you
get
get
6 months probation? Or do you think you two will be doing an episode about me?
I got a feeling this show is done if you do that shit. That's crazy.
Unreal. So, Jesus Christ. You think it's over for him in 91?
No.
91's a long year, guys. It's a long year.
That's just the start.
Because on the same day that he's convicted of this, and this all happens December 29th, 91, he's apparently at court, so we might as well arrest him again while he's here, while we got him around. Trevor's arrested for, remember that house in Miramar that he was arrested at for raping the girl?
Yeah.
That house, apparently, he forged his ex-wife's signature.
Oh, boy.
To get $95,000 in mortgage loans for this home. Not only did he forge her signature, it's not like he got some papers at home and just scratched a thing out and sent it back. He brought a woman to the bank saying it was his ex-wife who was not his ex-wife and had her fucking sign papers.
That's not very smart.
That's what he did, yeah. Again, in a bank with cameras.
With cameras to identify that as absolutely not me.
That's not Nadine. So, yeah, this is fucking unreal. He's convicted of second-degree grand theft for this eventually later on.
Second-degree grand theft for $90,000?
$95,000. No.
He's got a good lawyer.
It wasn't for...
That's a great fucking lawyer.
He didn't steal the money. It's for forging the documents.
Okay.
That's what it is.
To put the house in his name.
To get a mortgage to be able to buy the house.
Right.
I don't know if he had bad credit or I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
The Holmes incident.
It's essentially identity theft, what it boils down to,
Pretty
right?
much. Yeah. It was like forging mortgage documents, and then I guess that was the second-degree grand larceny. That was probably a plea or something of that nature. Now, February 22nd, 1992, this is just a couple months later. I mean, this is an eventful year for him.
He's off the rails now.
He's way off the reservation at this point. His trial for rape finally ends. The victim in this case gave 90 minutes of testimony, which is not going to be good for anybody on trial for rape.
Can you imagine hearing 90 minutes of description of how a man raped a woman?
It's
Jesus,
not
God.
great. She described how Trevor ripped off her clothing.
Oh, Jesus, you're going to tell us. Boy.
Do you want to know what he did?
No, I do. We got to hear it. We got to know how much of a piece of shit.
Talk shit about him. You guys will know it's warranted. You know what I mean? Ripped off her clothing. He hit her repeatedly, held her down, and forced her to have sex with him.
Okay.
She had worked for the family, like I said, for 2.5 months. Just wanted her $480. Berbick claims the whole time that it's a conspiracy from his ex-wife. Yeah. So now it's not Larry Holmes anymore. Now it's his ex-wife. She's
they're
involved.
working together.
They're working. Oh man, the connection,
the collusion.
Larry Holmes and Nadine are working together. God damn it! He says out loud in testimony in court that he testifies that the victim was, quote, on the payroll, whatever the fuck that means, and kept putting out this ridiculous conspiracy with his wife bullshit. And also, too, he testifies that she willingly had sex with him. Now, a Miami detective named Sean Mahon testified that Trevor gave 3 different accounts in three successive interviews. Yeah. He said first, saying he never had sex with the girl. Then he said he did have sex with her, but it was at his house. And then finally said he had sex with her, and it was at her house, but she wanted it. It was consensual. So... You pick a story and fucking stick to it.
And then a fourth interview that was sealed, he said it was the Lizard Illuminati.
Yes. He said Larry Holmes raped her.
There's a Time Suck episode about that.
Yes.
If you'd like to check that out.
I should probably
very
informative.
This guy, is he schizophrenic or something? Or
there's
he's
something.
got problems.
This is definite brain damage.
He's
because
got
this
brain
is
damage.
You don't... his amazing lawyer right now is frustrated beyond belief. He's like,
yeah.
motherfucker, pick a story.
Yeah.
Well,
if you're going to hire me to lie for you, at least fucking... Tell me the lie you're going to tell.
Those billable hours. Those billable hours are stacking.
They are getting so big.
Wow. He's like, here, Trevor, you got your gun with you? Make sure you take it. You want to be safe.
You are way past your what's the fee that they charge?
Retainer
fee.
Yeah, you're way outside of that. So Trevor is convicted of sexual assault in this case, obviously. It seems pretty clear. DNA, her testimony, his ridiculous stories. But they don't buy the conspiracy thing. Shocker.
So wait a minute. So his wife doesn't get charged?
No, amazing, right? You would think she should be charged way worse for setting this whole thing up. What a monster she is.
For orchestrating this entire...
Fucking monster.
For spraying his seed all over that room and all over that girl. She should be in jail for that.
Let's get Jenny from Jacksonville in jail, too, because I'm a little still pissed off at her. So he's convicted. They're going to do sentencing, but they have to delay sentencing twice over the next couple months because the judge, Circuit Judge Thomas Wilson, thinks Berbick is fucking insane and has him repeatedly mentally evaluated because every time he's in court, he shouts out crazy shit and acts like a lunatic and can't control himself.
That judge is a half-assed judge because Dan Cummins hit that 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So finally, he's deemed sane enough by the judge here to be sentenced on May 16th, 1992, and he's sentenced to 4 years in a Miami prison for rape, and also, too, they rolled in some of those earlier charges of pending assaults and all that. They said, let's just wipe this all out in one clean slate.
That's an awfully sweet
That's
deal.
not a bad
That's
deal.
not bad. 4 years for all that shit?
4 years.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. So now he was in the Pan American Games. He's in the Olympics. Loses, whatever. But he beats fucking Muhammad Ali. Gets knocked out by Tyson. He's dragging women.
HBO Vegas fights.
Yeah. He's been robbed by Don King. He's dragged women out of banks at gunpoint. He's held knives to people's throats.
He's got 7 kids.
He's
Poor
raped
children.
He's 7 kids that he doesn't even know where they live, so he doesn't see them. He has raped 1 and probably 2, a teenage girl in Halifax.
At least,
I feel bad for her.
went to court.
I feel bad for all these people.
Yeah.
I do. I feel bad for all these people.
My favorite.
But not nearly as bad as I feel for Trevor Berbick.
Son of a bitch. And it's a goofy white kid in
a computer programmer at Adverse Solutions. Solutions in London, United Kingdom.
He's like, I'm white for Pete's sake. I didn't do this.
Poor white computer nerd in England.
That's funny.
It's like, fuck, stop Googling me. Don't Google me, ever.
I have no problem. No problem at all with Holmes. I love him. He's a great boxer.
I will give you the exact address to my Facebook page and my accounts. Don't Google me. Whatever you do, I swear I don't rape people. Unreal. So that poor bastard I feel bad for. Now, August of 1993, Trevor's freed on parole after only 15 months.
Wow.
15 months.
You know what? You'd think
Rejoin society.
When you walk into that cell and you see that you've got 4 years ahead of you, and then after that, you can get your life back together. All this shit goes away. You can get your life back together. You can get on a path and be okay. Then you get out 15 months in, and you've got to be like, this Pentecostal shit is working out. Praise God, hallelujah, where are the snakes? Let's get this life together. And then what happens, James?
Then, well, he gets into boxing again. Gets right back into boxing.
Gets his life back together.
He's got to do it. March 14th, 94, Spartanburg, South Carolina, the mecca of American boxing, obviously. Madison Square Garden, Vegas, Atlantic City, to the side.
The Winnipeg of the United States.
It is. That's what it's called, the Winnipeg of the South.
I think it's on the sign as you enter.
Yeah, it's their sister city.
Confederate Winnipeg.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. Confederate Winnipeg. He wins on points after 8 rounds, which is fine because he's been in prison, so he's a little rusty. That's fine. 94, he fights 3 more times. He's just trying to get money, I think this is. All wins, 2 knockouts and a split decision versus Melvin Foster, who's the first linked fighter he's fought in goddamn half a decade. 42-7-1 is his record, which 42 wins sounds pretty goddamn good.
Impressive.
March 15th, 95 at the Mystic Lake Casino Hotel in Prior Lake, Minnesota.
Oh my God, I've been there.
You have?
Yeah.
You played there?
I did, yeah.
Oh,
I did.
Jesus Christ, that's scary.
All just trees and a lake? Is that
Just
about
way
it?
in the middle of nowhere, if I remember right. Yeah.
Sounds like. Go see Dan at the Mystic Lake Casino Hotel in Prior Lake, Minnesota. Let's see here. He fights Jimmy Thunder here, which is a fucking great
Jimmy Thunder.
Jimmy Thunder. That sounds
like an
completely
80s
made up. That sounds like a bad 80s porn actor. I'm Jimmy Thunder, and he comes
Some
in.
plumber that moonlights as a boxer.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
I wouldn't be interested in hanging out with him or his circle of friends.
No.
Based only on that name.
Exactly.
For somebody to be like, hey, I'm going to go with Jimmy Thunder. And then his friend's like, that's great, dude.
That's good shit
great.
right there.
You just
I
came
like
up with that just now.
That's good. Yeah.
Thunder? You thought of that? God damn.
fucking
Jimmy Thunder. Now, Thunder's a Samoan guy, though. So you know he's fucking tough. You know he's fucking tough.
I pictured a white flat top guy.
That's what I pictured, too. Nope, he's a Samoan who was a 35-14 career fighter. Berbick loses a 12-round unanimous decision to this guy. 42-8-1 now. So things are kind of falling apart a little bit.
Over 50 fights, wow.
Over 50, yeah. Through 96, he wins his next 3 fights, 2 TKOs and a decision, 45-8-1 at the end of that. October 15th at the Circus, 1996 at the Circus Maximus in Atlantic City, which sounds like a shithole, I'm sure.
Circus Maximus. We're going to be talking about that. I'm going to be talking about Circus Maximus with you guys.
Let's do it. Oh, fuck yeah. Let's do it. I like it. Yeah, you might want to tune in to Time Suck where you can hear us on Dan's podcast. It's going to be awesome. So
where's it at, though? There was a Circus Maximus and where?
In Atlantic City.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, of course. They have jackass names.
Clearly pulled it from Rome.
Yeah.
Berbick loses a unanimous decision in 10 rounds to Hasim Rahman, who's the guy who knocked out Lennox Lewis with a flash punch and then had the most giant egg on his face I've ever seen in a human being in a rematch. 45-9-1 at this point for Berbick. 97, Berbick violates his parole in some way. I cannot, for the life of me, find out what he did, but it was minor things. It wasn't anything huge. It might have been that Snickers bar you were talking about. He did that, so Trevor is now deported from the United States.
Canada or Jamaica?
Not a fucking citizen.
He's not even a citizen.
No, get the fuck out. Quit raping people, asshole.
Holy shit.
They kick him out. They finally get around to noticing he has a rape charge, apparently. That'll smart right there. That's smarts, boy, when immigration finds out about your rape charge. I hate that. Trevor moves back to Canada now. And Canada is not aware of his shit over here either. So now he's going to have issues there, too. He fights on September 15th, 97 at the Shaw Conference Center in Edmonton, which is, it's like, it's
Mall of America, Edmonton.
Edmonton would be the Chicago to Winnipeg's New York, I feel.
Yeah.
It's second city.
Edmonton has the biggest mall in North America. That's what it is.
Really?
Okay. Edmonton has the biggest mall. There's a comedy club in there.
Yeah, that's
the biggest mall in North America.
Yes, we know. Yeah,
Rick Bronson's House Comedy.
Yep. Rick Bronson likes to open things in malls. He's into that.
Phoenix had one.
Yeah, and also Minnesota.
Foot traffic. Foot traffic is enormous. They get just walk up people that are like, "Hey, let's go into Hot Topic. And do you like dick jokes? Let's go over there too."
Yeah. Let's do it. So he's in Edmonton, all the way back up north. You fail north in boxing, apparently. You fail northwards.
Edmonton's, that's a brutal city.
That's tough. They say in showbiz you fail upwards, in boxing you fail northwards. That's the word. He fights Lyle McDowell, who doesn't sound like a fighter to me at all. Loses a split decision in 12 rounds.
To Lyle McDowell?
Lyle McDowell, the non-linker from Edmonton, for Christ's sake.
Likely grouted your tile last week.
Yes, that's perfect.
And then beat the fuck out of this guy in 12 rounds.
Call Lyle, the grouse. The tiles are breaking. Come on.
Now he's going to be fighting in a bar in Fairbanks.
He's doing a bar show, guys. Oh, man. Like a comic who just lost his way. 98-99. He wins his next 3 fights, 2 decisions and a TKO, all in Canada. Not allowed really anywhere else. He's 48-10-1. On February 5th, 99, he wins the heavyweight Canadian title again. They must not have a lot probably lot going on up there in terms of boxers.
After all that, he wins the Canadian heavyweight. Wow.
Again,
okay.
yeah. He beats a guy named Shane Sutcliffe, who's probably related to Rick Sutcliffe.
And now he's in his 40s.
Yeah, no, not quite yet. But 12th round, he's 40. Yeah, he's in his 40s now. 12th round TKO. He's like 43 years old at this point. 1999, his wife divorces him, the one with his newest wife, because she's not a complete idiot. He fights in Slave Lake, Alberta in August of 1999, which is nuts. And this is also,
Slave Lake, Alberta.
Slave Lake. There's a ton of stories of him, like crazy erratic behavior, is supposed to fight, not fighting, just not showing up. Showing up and then saying he's not going out, shit like that, just crazy behavior. Loses an 8-round split decision to Tony La Rosa, not Tony La Russa, I hope. 48-11-1.
I hope it was.
That would be great. I'd picture him with his cardinal hat on, beating the shit out of him.
Beating the piss out of him.
That'd be great. 1999, crazy. He claims in an interview that he saw God.
Okay.
Of course. Where?
Of course he did.
Where, you may ask?
Slave Lake.
Slave Lake in the middle of the lake, floating.
Sure.
Or, like on the side of a mountain, maybe, or even in a tortilla. No, in his apartment, of course. He's just hanging out.
That's where he goes.
He said, they said, what? He said, well, he was just there. He was just hanging out. He decided to stop by. God had some extra time to kill. He's like, let's see what Trevor's up to.
Hold on, Africa. I know you're starving to death.
Hold on. Let's see what this
I got to see Trevor.
I got to see Trevor. He's the Canadian heavyweight champ.
The golden boy of Canadian boxing.
The golden boy of Winnipeg. We got to get him on.
There's a kid with cancer in a children's hospital. Fuck him. I'll be right back.
Wait. I got this to deal with.
Trev needs me.
He's also having terrible tax problems. He's completely broke. He's in court for a tax evasion thing, and he falls asleep in court doing this. He's a fucking mess.
He's probably tired from some raping or something.
Yeah, he's like, man, I've been raping all day, just all day. 1999, the Canadians find out about his extensive record. I don't know what the fuck they were doing, and they didn't have the internet in 99.
They don't have Google up there.
Guy's a train wreck.
His immigrant status is revoked because he never applied for citizenship.
Oh, shit, he can't even be in Canada now.
He says he's going to fight to stay in Canada. So on December 5th, 99, the Canadian immigration...
Hope it's not against Lyle.
Yeah, no, she's going to lose that fight. He lost a split decision to the Immigration and Refugee Board in 8 rounds. So, the Canadian Immigration and Refugee Board, actually, he wins a favorable decision for once lately. They rule that Trevor can stay in Canada for a period of 5 years before he has to reapply again. So he's got a 5 year.
He's got 5 years.
He's got 5 years here. They said that they ruled that he doesn't pose a threat to society despite his criminal record, unless you're a woman who doesn't want to be raped, and then he's probably a little more of a threat.
Or a man that's been conspiring with his ex-wife, because you'll get a knife to your throat.
You will get a knife to your throat.
Everybody is in danger with that man around. Yeah. Everybody.
The board's quote official decision here said that the deportation of the appellant from Canada would not serve the interests of justice, which I think it probably would if you're Canadian.
Right.
They go on to say that he leads a productive life in Montreal, barely rapes anybody, so that's solid.
Keep that to a minimum.
Yeah, this is real short. He says that he's in good shape and he's ready to go win the title again. He's ready to be heavyweight champ. May 26, 2000, in Vancouver, British Columbia, he wins a 12-round unanimous decision against Shane Sutcliffe, the same guy he won the. He found a guy he can beat, and he's going to beat him over and over again.
Just keep doing it.
Yeah, so he fights him once a year till his death. Last fight. This is going to be his last fight.
Okay.
He's 49-11-1, so he had 61 professional fights, which is a lot.
Yeah.
Last 8 fights went the distance. That's a lot of brain damage.
At the end.
That's a lot, yeah.
Like, not when you can put your hands up and actually block a punch. You're taking a shitload of damage.
That's a lot.
Now when he watches the Ali fight on VHS, it's like he's like for the first time.
Yeah. He's like, I fought Ali.
I beat Ali.
Hey, that's Muhammad Ali. Oh, shit, that's me. Hey, did you know I met Muhammad Ali? Kids, come in here. Trevor Jr., get in here. Check it out. I fought Muhammad Ali. Hey, everybody. Just going to break away from the show for 1 second to tell you about another one of our sponsors, Blue Apron.
BlueApron.com.
Oh, we love Blue Apron so much. You get this box that comes to your house. It is it's like a box of gold.
That's the best day at my house.
It's so great. You open this box and you're like, what is it this week? And you pull out the cards and you see the recipes and you're like, look at these meats. Look at these fresh vegetables. It's incredible. I'm telling you guys, first of all, it's fully pre-portioned.
Right.
So none of this waste, none of this garbage. You're not going to stuff yourself. And the cost on it's actually really, really good. Less than $10 per person per meal. Blue Apron delivers seasonal recipes along with pre-portioned ingredients to make delicious home-cooked meals, guys. Home-cooked. They send everything, every little spice. Do you have saffron in your house? I bet not. But if the recipe calls for saffron, there will be a little tiny baggie of saffron.
Do you have a little bit of honey? Just enough honey?
Just enough? I doubt you do. Soy glaze, guys? I have soy glaze in a little bottle that I'm going to put on something this week.
I have soy sauce, and that's not going to be a good glaze.
It's the best, so you can customize your recipes each week based on your preferences. Each meal comes with a step-by-step, easy-to-follow recipe card, pre-portioned ingredients. Like I said, every meal can be prepared in 40 minutes or less. Blue Apron's freshness guarantee promises that every ingredient in your delivery arrives ready to cook or they will make it right. Check out this week's menu and get your first 3 meals free. With free shipping. Free shipping by going to blueapron.com/crime. You will love how good it feels and tastes to create incredible home-cooked meals with Blue Apron, so don't wait. That's blueapron.com/crime. Blue Apron, a better way to cook. blueapron.com/crime.
And now back to the show.
2001. His erratic.
It's like the first time.
His erratic behavior warrants medical testing.
Okay, finally.
It's about goddamn
it's
time.
About time.
Yeah.
A brain scan reveals a small blood clot in his brain that is not helping his erratic behavior at all. It's pressing on something that is making him crazy. So who knows how long this has been in there? Who knows what he's a mess. So December 2nd, 2002, Trevor's arrested in Florida because he's not allowed to be in Florida. He went down there to try to visit his kids, and he was arrested because he's not allowed to be in the United States. And pretty sure his ex-wife called the cops on there. He sent
Holmes.
Now Canada said fuck off. Yeah, Canada doesn't want him anymore. Now that he came down here and got arrested again, they're like, yeah, fuck off. So now he's deported to Jamaica. He's back to Jamaica now. He's stuck over there.
Raising chickens.
He's cutting, sawing off that shopping cart again. He's like, fuck, get the propane out.
Learn a couple chords so he can play some Ziggy Marley.
He's got to. That's how you make a buck down there to the tourists. So that was December 2002. He's deported to Jamaica. January 15th, 2003, it's a big deal that there was an arrest warrant issued for him in Port Antonio, Jamaica. He's barely in the country.
And he's got a warrant out already?
Yep. Incident happened on January 12th. A neighbor called police to report Berbick had burglarized their home. He apparently broke into their home, stole a TV, clothes, an electric drill, and other tools.
Holy shit. Police
showed up. They asked to search Trevor's home, but he wouldn't let them. He said, "Where's your fucking warrant?" And so they couldn't do anything, so they left to go get a warrant. And anyway,
that's. I mean, I get going through your constitutional rights and saying no. I refuse until you have a warrant. But I've never heard of somebody that doesn't have some shit going on saying no, absolutely not. Everybody I know that's on the up and up would be like, fucking take a glance, take a peek.
Also, too, what would you do at this point if you did have this shit in your house? The cops came, they left. You go get rid of that shit.
Fuck yes, I'd bury it.
2 days later, they come back with a warrant, search his house, found every missing item the guy described. Just kept it in his house. He's like, well, that got rid of that. Like, shoot them off.
Fix that problem.
Moving on. So Berbick, Jesus Christ, Berbick, once the warrant's out, he phones the police department to ask if there's a warrant for his arrest, and they say yes, and he just doesn't, he won't tell them his location, won't say if he's going to turn himself in. He's just on the fucking lam at this point out there. It's like a big thing. He's like a fugitive in Jamaica for a burglary charge. They make a big deal out of it because he's the most famous guy on the island at this point. January 18th, 2003, he turns himself into police and is charged with breaking and entering and theft, which is a good way. You want to make a splash when you go home. Everybody wants to go back to their hometown and feel good about themselves, and this is the way you do it.
With the charges of a meth addict. Like, those are the worst charges to get. Like, from heavyweight champion to fucking petty theft and breaking and entering. That's so sad.
It's fucking ridiculous, the whole thing. So now he's sitting in a Jamaican jail. He's in and out of Jamaican jail. He's at all this. He can't even find a country that won't kick him out of the fucking thing. It's ridiculous. He's sitting in jail. He's like, no, his wife's not down there. His kids aren't down there. He has no family. There's nobody to come see him. And then he gets a visitor. And he comes into his cell and he walks in and it's Bobby Colorado, animal trainer from Fredericksburg, Texas. And he says, How is it you come to arrive here? Huh? What's fucking wrong with you? Look, what's wrong with you? I come down here, I come to Jamaica, come to have a nice time, have a vacation. I got a fucking drink in my hand with a little umbrella in it, and I see you got to be a jerk-off breaking into people's fucking houses.
There's wild dogs all in the fucking streets here.
What's wrong with you? There's wild dogs everywhere. No, I don't want no jerk chicken. Get the fuck out of here. I'm not baking anything you eat. No. You're raping people, you're gunpoint. What the fuck is wrong with you, huh?
There's grocery cart grill marks on it.
I'm going back to the beach, asshole. Enjoy. And he takes off. And Trevor's thoroughly confused. He has no idea who Bobby Colorado is. But he has a dog that will not stop jumping. And Bobby takes care of it because he's that kind of guy. You know what I mean? He does that. He's like, I'll take care of your dog, though. Hey,
we'll fill you in later, Dan.
Here's my number. All right, come on over here. It's fine. So 2003, he's living in a remote farming community, which is probably best for everybody. I think he's raping animals. Probably, I don't know. He's doing something. He's teaching boxing clinics in Trinidad at this point. So trying to make a couple of bucks, I guess. And he's the most famous boxer they got down there. Yeah. What the hell? Most famous athletes, him and Patrick Ewing. I don't know anybody else from Jamaica really, athletics wise. October 22nd, 2006. Berbick goes out and parties with friends. He's in Norwich, however the fuck you want to say it down there. They hit several night spots. He's out partying, got a bunch of, he's out hanging out. He's doing his thing. Bobby Colorado's out with him. They're having a good time. He said to go home between 2:30 and 3:30 a.m. is when he's seen going home. Yep. He leaves.
Nothing good happens at that time of night.
When I start breaking down into times of day, you know bad things are going to happen, guys. I just tell you that.
I'm starting to pick up on this test. I'm
pattern.
Smelling it. Yeah.
October 28th, 2006, the very next morning at 6:30 a.m. in his hometown of Portland, Trevor is found by a church deacon dead in a courtyard.
Wow. That wasn't where I thought this was going. Holy shit.
Hey, twisted. There's a $100 bill nearby him and a 2-inch thick metal pipe laying near him.
Wow.
How fucking sad.
He is in a pool of his own blood in this courtyard in the church, which is right near, I guess there's the church and his home is right there, like next to the church.
Whacked him with the pipe.
And where is Larry Holmes?
It's fucking Larry. Jenny from Jacksonville, you bitch.
This is depressing.
He has deep, large gash wounds to the top of his head. They call chop marks, is what they call it to the top.
Like a machete?
Like a machete. He's pronounced dead on the scene. Police say a man is in custody at this point. Now, the detective in the case, Kenneth Bailey, said, quote, the body had 4 wounds to the back of the head as he was probably attacked from behind. The impression and the damage done to the skull have indicated that a machete may have been used by his attacker attackers to murder him. So good call, Jimmy.
I'm a better cop than they are. I'm impressed.
Yeah. Apparently, yeah. Now, former U.S. Olympian at this. Now, there's some people talking about Trevor here, and their quotes are like, I love when they're
so sweet.
I love when they're sweet, but like we all know he was a fucking nut too at the same time. Former U.S. Olympian Lawrence Clay Bay, I'm sorry, said, quote, he was a little strange, but no matter how weird someone might be, you don't wish this to be the way they die. So it's like, that's no matter how weird a guy is, and he's fucking weird. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
C. Lloyd Allen, who's the former president of the Jamaica Boxing Board, said, quote, we have our challenges in life, but Trevor seemed to handle his challenges very badly. Once he lost to Tyson, he went down a slippery slope. Brain damage is what probably that left hook is what put him down the slippery slope. November 4th, 2006, a week later, Trevor's 20-year-old nephew, Harold Berbick, and 18-year-old Kenton Green confessed to his murder. His nephew in a Port Antonio police station. They're both charged. They used a metal bar that had a clamp thing on the end that mimicked a cutting instrument. And also they led police to a second weapon, which was a crowbar that they beat him with. They attacked him from behind. Harold's mother was actually briefly arrested also. She was taken into custody and detained and questioned, but she was actually let go. It's thought to be a part of a land dispute between the family, this whole thing. So you don't fuck around with land in Jamaica, boy. They're serious. Now, December 21st, 2007, after a 4-week trial, Harold Berbick is convicted of murder.
God, Jesus.
Kenton Gordon is convicted of manslaughter. And Nadine is there for his first wife is up there, which is down there for it. She just wanted a vacation.
Sure.
It's a girl's weekend. I'll take it. Yeah.
She needs some closure from all the accusations.
Yeah, exactly. You know what? She's just overseeing her handiwork. It's all come to fruition.
Like the A-Team. I love when a good plan comes together.
A square-headed man was seen in the shadows of the back of the courtroom.
God, he
wears sunglasses and a wig.
That's what happens when you marry Kaiser Soze. These things happen. So she said, quote, quote, "It is wrong to murder someone. Justice has been served. He should not have died the way he did." Well, no shit. That's Captain Obvious. Thank you. So January 11th, 2008 is the sentencing of these two young men. Harold's mother, who's his
sister or
sister-in-law, I believe. Yeah. Harold's mother pleads for mercy for her son, saying that Trevor was dangerous and abusive and has assaulted both her and Harold and threatened them with death.
I don't give a fuck.
I don't care. I'm not doubting that. I'm sure that's possible, but it's whatever.
I believe every word of that, but that doesn't justify attacking a man from behind, no matter how much of a piece of shit he is.
No, not killing him either. She also accuses Trevor of stealing a computer from Harold, which I don't know why that would be grounds for murder, but Harold receives life in prison.
All right.
He must serve 20 years before he's even eligible for parole. Kenton Green gets 14 years of hard labor, which does not sound fun in
Jamaica. That sounds terrible. Picking bananas.
Berbick at one point, I just love this quote to put at the end of his life here, because this is just it makes no sense, and it's a space cadet thing to do, and it seems oddly sort of fitting for the end of his life too. He once said, quote, "Legally, I'm a spirit. I have no age."
Oh, boy.
I don't know what the fuck that means, but you're dead, so I feel like it's apt at this point in time. I don't know. Now, if you love Trevor Berbick and you're obsessed with Trevor Berbick and you can't get enough Trevor fucking Berbick, you can get on eBay and you can buy a Trevor Berbick Mike Tyson Fight Night program.
Wow.
Really? Program signed by both fighters.
What?
It's funny too, because when it sold at the event, it was only a $5 thing. You can see on the cover, $599.99.
That seems like a decent price to me.
Yeah,
that sounds good.
It's pretty
cool.
For a
collector,
There can't be many of those.
No, there can't be. Exactly. Signed by both guys. $10 shipping. Really? You charge $600? You can't ship it to me? It's a fucking magazine. It's not like it's a fucking piano.
Right. You didn't make it, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. Also, too, if you just need to see it out there, you can get on Amazon.com and you can buy the DVD of Drama in Bahama.
Wow.
They have that. You can watch.
Is that autographed by both fighters?
That is
I'll
not
take that
autographed by shit, but you can watch Muhammad Ali get more and more and more brain damage. You can watch him going from a man who knew where he was to a vegetable, basically, over the course of 15 rounds. So enjoy that. That's only you can get them from $299.
Wow, that's a deal.
That's a great deal. So, guys, unbelievable.
Thank you for taking me along on that ride.
Thanks for being here.
This was great.
Dude,
thank you. So much fun, man.
Yeah, I'm glad. You were a great addition, I got to say.
I'm excited to bring you guys on a ride.
I can't wait.
We cannot wait.
Caligula, man.
Yes. Tune into Time Suck and hear us on Time Suck.
Disgusting human being.
Yeah, Caligula was the first out of... You guys have heard a lot of the episodes I've done on various Bundy and horrible people.
Dan, I'll correct you. I've heard every episode.
Okay, every episode.
Definitely, of course.
This is the one that you guys are going to do. I wanted to do something that was, extra kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But even in my hotel room late at night, I was like, Jesus Christ. It's unfucking believable what he did.
Yeah. No, he's awesome. I can't wait. He's like the Randall Woodfield of your podcast, basically.
Dan basically started a podcast because he gets involved in these things, these topics that suck him in on the internet, and he can't get rid of it until he knows everything. So then he goes and records it all to purge his fucking brain of this, and you are the recipient of this amazing knowledge. And it's incredibly entertaining.
And it's all listener suggested now, which I love.
That's awesome.
Because I'm amazed how many things are I'm like, I wanted to talk about that. That's great that they sent it in. But also, I'll get stuff that I would have never looked in. Like the last episode, I missed the boat on the mysterious death of Elisa Lam.
Yeah.
I was the one person who never heard about that.
Yeah.
Never heard about it.
I'd seen the video.
I never saw the
viral video,
Nothing.
but I didn't know that it was still... I mean, they have closure for they have a determined cause of death.
Yeah.
But I don't believe that fucking cause of death.
No,
but
it
leads you into other stuff where it's like, researching that. That's what I love about, and I'm sure same for you.
Yeah.
Other criminals.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like that one led me to the Hotel Cecil.
Right.
Which was a place that...
Fascinating.
And then I was having breakfast with Chad Daniels this morning. His girlfriend stayed at the Hotel Cecil.
Get out of here.
She didn't realize the history of it, and then she did. She said she was terrified when she was there.
Jesus Christ.
And that led me to Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker.
Yeah.
That guy was a demon.
He's a horrible demon.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
And he was caught in Arizona, wasn't he?
No,
he was caught in Southern California,
California.
coming back from Arizona because he came to visit Tucson.
He's
a terrible man.
He liked Tucson.
Yeah, he had family there.
Listen to Time Suck. I would, if I had to give it like a pitch, I would say it is Dan Carlin's Hardcore History, and last podcast on the left had a crazy baby.
Incredibly funny,
nice,
crazy
That's
baby.
hilarious and
it's
really
so
funny.
Good.
It's really fantastic.
Listening to Dan creep himself out is my favorite part when he goes, Jesus, or fuck. And then he laughs about how dark it is. It's fun. So I love it.
Please get on that. Listen to that. Subscribe.
Thank you guys again for having me.
Oh, forget it.
Dan, we love to have you guys. And please, we urge you to get on iTunes, give us 5 stars on there. Also, get on Time Suck and give him 5 stars as well.
5 stars for everybody.
5 stars all around.
If Larry Holmes
everybody.
has a podcast, give him 5 stars.
Give him 5 stars. Give Jenny from Jacksonville 5 stars. Anyone from Winnipeg, because they have it hard enough. It's fine. Just 5 stars. Manitoba. That 15-year-old girl from Halifax, if she has a podcast, give her more than 5 stars. Give her 5 stars twice if you can.
Log in as many all week long and give her stars.
Also, too, if you love us even more than that, and iTunes isn't enough, please get on patreon.com/crimeinsports where you can donate to the show. That helps us out so much, and we can't tell you how much we appreciate it. If you'd like to make a one-time donation, you can go on PayPal. Our PayPal deal there is crimeinsports@gmail.com. Also, too, you can get a hold of us on social media, on Twitter and Instagram at Crime and Sports, Facebook.com/crimeinsports, crimeinsports@gmail.com. All over the place. Jimmy, you want to hit him with your social media?
At Whisman Sucks, WHISMAN Sucks on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat. You guys were amazing this week. The interaction and the involvement with the show. I've got a laundry list of shout-outs to talk about next week. But we went so long, and we've got limited time today. So
limited
next week,
time.
tune in. There will be. It's probably just going to be a show.
Shout-out time.
James is going to go, welcome to Crime and Sports, and I'm just going to read a fucking bunch.
So we'll do that.
It's going to be 2 hours of names.
Definitely.
Dan, you guys were amazing. Thank you.
Want to hit him up, buddy?
Just timesuckpodcast.com links to everything else I have.
Perfect. Timesuckpodcast.com. Guys, get on that shit. And I am at Jimmy P is funny. If you want to follow me or get real adventurous, you can try to spell my last name or just look in the show description, and you can do it that way. But guys, thank you so much for joining us. It's been wild. We will be back with more epic scum next week. We cannot wait. Live from the Crime and Sports Studios. We will see you next week.
Bye.
If you like Crime and Sports, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
A few miles from the glass spires of Midtown Atlanta lies the South River Forest. In 2021 and 2022, the woods became a home to activists from all over the country who gathered to stop the nearby construction of a massive new police training facility, nicknamed Cop City.
At approximately 9 o'clock this morning, as law enforcement was moving through various sectors of the property, an individual, without warning, shot a Georgia State Patrol trooper.
This is We Came to the Forest, a story about resistance.
The abolitionist mission isn't done until every prison is empty and shut down.
Love and fellowship.
It was probably the happiest I've ever been in my life.
And the lengths we'll go to protect the things we hold closest to our hearts. Follow We Came to the Forest on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can binge all episodes of We Came to the Forest early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus.